Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of the Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about that fucking sack of shit Logan Paul again, and how he's being sued now for his shitty ass Prime drink because it has literally enough forever chemicals and apparently each bottle to kill people 3 times over, where the lifetime amount should be, is what it is. So, yeah, he should definitely have an arrest warrant put him out from the entire state of Ohio right now, as well as across this country for Lower County Community is what it is right now. Of course, it's never going to happen because fucking scumbags like that never get arrested for the shit they've actually committed against the humanity is what it is there. But yeah, we're going to talk about the lawsuit here in a couple minutes and basically how these be bankrupt in the oblivion. We also got a couple other topics to talk about today. We got the we're going to talk about the study again with the trans kids and stuff like that was done over the last few decades, and how it's going to basically be it's already been proven pretty much they all grow out of it at the end of the day. We got a couple other stories to talk about as well on this one. One of these scumbag Democrats the other day when they're doing the Ukraine funding and other aid packages to like Israel and stuff like that over the weekend was openly fucking committing treason. What it is there. And then you also have state senator out of Minnesota, I believe is what it was, who was arrested for burglary recently and was also a fucking almost main action anti-gunner, because that's what people are really, is what it is. It's always the scumbags of the earth. And I'm bringing that up specifically because going back full circle, Logan Paul's piece of shit ass, that motherfucker is also an anti-gun sack of crap is what it is. And the thing is, he could easily be arrested here in Ohio on August the 3rd of this year, because that's when SummerSlam's going to be here in Cleveland, and we know exactly where he's going to be that day. So it's like, yeah, they could easily have just the cops waiting for his ass to arrest him right then and there, dude, for the fucking shit, if they actually wanted to do that. But of course, they're not going to do that, is what it is. But yeah, so from what I was reading, from what I was skimming of the article here, though, it sounds like it might just be like one flavor of this drink or something. And I don't know if that's the case or not, but even still, it doesn't matter if it's one flavor or like dozens of flavors and stuff like that. Like, you don't put something on the market, and specifically, you don't target it to kids as if it's fucking healthy when it's obviously not, and it never was. And that's the problem with all these energy drinks, actually, across the board. It's like they're always targeted to teenagers and stuff like that, or even preteen kids for that matter. And it's like the same thing with the trans stuff, dude. It's like, leave the kids alone. Like, stop pushing your bullshit on them, people. Seriously. So, anyway, but yeah, we're going to read this article here from the Daily Dot is what it is, which is the drink is marketed primarily to teens. Logan Paul's Prime drink accused of false advertising of forever chemicals and flavors. It should be recalled. Yes, it should be. It says one of the top-selling sports drinks, Prime, founded by YouTubers Logan Paul and I'm not sure I pronounce the other guy's name. He goes by KSI. It says it's found in two new lawsuits claiming the drink marketed to children contains high levels of caffeine and PFA chemicals that are linked to cancers. It said in a viral TikTok, Dr. Zain Hassan explains the recent lawsuits and the effects these harsh chemicals can have on children and teenagers. So this video has reached over 1 million views and 40,000 plus likes as of Monday. So to start his video, he says, I don't know, I missed this before, but Prime is being sued on 2 accounts just this year alone. This is why is Logan Paul's Prime being sued? Says Dr. Son explains the first reason Prime is being sued is because in the popular energy drink contains an excessive amount of caffeine in it. Says Prime energy drinks are labeled on their website to contain 140 milligrams of caffeine. Dude, that's honestly, I'm gonna say it right now, dude. That's the fucking kind of levels that if you drink enough of that shit, you're gonna have a fucking stroke, is what it is, dude. You're gonna have a fucking heart attack as a teenager was gonna be, dude. Like, that's honestly, I remember looking back a couple years ago. There was a few years ago, actually, here in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, it happened where there was a teen who was actually buying caffeine powder on the internet there, and you end up having he ended up dying because he was like basically taking like a scoopful of that shit and like throwing it in like water or whatever, or like some kind of like Kool-Aid or whatever it was there or something. And he ended up dying because he was like drinking that shit like that or whatever every day. And his parents sued the hell out of I forget who it was at the time that was basically selling the stuff. And they won a ton of money, and they actually forced legislation put in place at that time then that said specifically, it's like, yeah, you cannot have like X amount of this stuff where you can have like teenagers buy the shit is what it is there. And this is kind of what I'm saying here with the whole thing here as well, dude. It's like, yeah, you have this motherfucker putting like a ton of caffeine into this fucking shitty drink is what it is. So, anyway, yeah, it's 140 milligrams of caffeine. It said health.com notes that the drink actually contains 200 milligrams of caffeine per 12 ounces. Jesus Christ, dude. So it's even more than, it's like almost twice what he said it's supposed to be in there. It says, reason for the lawsuit is that the drink is marketed primarily to teens and young kids. Said having that much caffeine as a child, especially a couple times a day, can be detrimental, especially to their growth. Yeah, it actually stunts your growth a little bit to them. So Dr. Hassan adds, he explains that the high levels of caffeine can also affect your heart. Yeah, it can give you a stroke, or heart attack for that matter. So the doctor guy believes that being exposed to high levels of caffeine at such a young age can be a huge risk factor. So according to the Columbia University Irvine Medical Center, said there is no known safe amount of caffeine for anyone at the age of 11 or younger. So until a safe amount is determined, it's impossible to avoid. People between ages 12 and 17 years old have less than 100 milligrams of caffeine per day, or should have less than 100 milligrams of caffeine per day is what it is. So yeah, so basically anybody under age 11, there's no safe amount for them to have. And anybody 12 and older, it's only 100 milligrams a day, which this is like twice that. So that's a doctor guy. Then went on to say, second part of the lawsuit is actually more interesting. It said he explains that Prime's grape flavor was found to contain significant levels of PFA chemicals. Said Milliberg states that PFA chemicals are known as forever chemicals because they bioaccelerate or acute in the body over time. Said these man-made chemicals are well studied and have been found to have adverse effects on the human body and environment. Yeah, they basically destroy the environment, destroy your body from the size of what it is there. Said, quote, a few of the risks are reproductive harms, basically not having to be able to have kids, what it is, developmental delays in children, being, basically making kids retarded, what it is there, increased cancer risk, reduced immune system response, interference with the body's hormones, higher cholesterol levels, and obesity risk, just a few of these things, by the way. So the doctor guy adds a screenshot into his video, the list of PFA chemicals found in grape hydration drink. Said there were reportedly a total of 8 different PFA chemicals found in that specific drink is what it is there. Said they are forever chemicals. They get inside your body. They stay there forever. Your body cannot break them down. Your liver cannot break them down. Your kidneys don't flush them out, etc., etc. They're just in your body forever. What it is there. Like Guzan says, the power of marketing, so kids will be affected. Said next, the states that he says all the claims are alleged and have, quote, not been proven in a court of law yet. Although he believes that it's very concerning because the energy drink are hyped up on social media. So before ending the video, this doctor guy urges viewers to send the video to anyone they know who drinks Prime as a warning because all these alleged lawsuits are not coming out. Well, that's the whole point, right? They're trying to fucking... it makes sense, right? Why would you want that shit to come out, dude? Because you're a fucking scumbag, multi-millionaire piece of shit, basically, is what it is, age 20, whatever the fuck he is right now, Logan Paul's ass. And KCI, too, for that matter. They're both, like, mid to late 20s is what it is there. And early 30s somewhere in there is what it is. Let me look at Logan Paul's. Yeah, 29 is what Logan Paul is right now. He just turned 29 here at the beginning of the month is what it was. And then that KCI guy is... Or not KCI, KSI. That's what I'm thinking of, KSI. Yeah, that KSI dude is 30. He'll be 31 in June. So, yeah, you have these fucking assholes that honestly should be in prison forever with it right now, dude. For pushing the shit on kids is what it is, man, for real. So, like, it blows my mind, honestly, that we're allowing this shit to go on and not doing anything about it, man. Like, it really just pisses me off is what it is. So, yeah, Logan Paul, he definitely needs to be arrested. And this is just one of, like, 1,000 reasons why I want to beat this dude's ass in the streets right now, dude, myself. Like, I want to just fucking beat his ass down at this point, honestly, dude. The first reason was about 10 years ago when he fucked over my YouTube channel and everybody else's YouTube channels by doing a stupid-ass Suicide Forest stunt. Instead of them banning his fucking channel for life is what it was there at the time. Susan Wojcicki should have done that shit, honestly. Instead, they fucked over everybody across the board then. It was like, oh, Logan Paul did something stupid. Okay, everybody else on YouTube, you're going to fucking face the effects now, too. Sorry, get fucked. You're never making money on the site ever again because this fucking dick smoker. So, yeah. Like, honestly, I'll tell you what, if this dude gets jumped in a parking lot someday, like 25, 30 people or something like that, dude, he's going to be justified 100%. if he gets that ass whooping like Charlottesville, dude, where those guys took that dude in that parking lot and just kicked the shit out of him at that point, like, it would be totally justified at this point, dude. 100% across the board. So, anyway, speaking of scumbags that need to get their asses beat, we will move on to a congressman named Gerald Connolly from Virginia. This was this asshole the other day on the floor of Congress on Saturday before they did the Ukraine vote. He said, and I quote, "Some say we have to deal with our border first. The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border." No, it's not, you old fucking retarded piece of shit. The U.S.-Mexico border is our fucking border, you dumb motherfucker. Again, if our founding fathers were still alive right now, that Gerald guy would be tarred and feathered in the fucking streets, dude. By them. I'm just gonna say it like it is right now, dude. Like, he would literally be run down the fucking street with a hot ass bucket of tar and a fucking bunch of dirty ass chicken feathers by our founding fathers. We're just saying that kind of shit, bro. Like, it just blows me away, man, that we are allowing these fucking people to remain in office after this kind of shit when they are openly committing high treason against American people at this point, dude, and should be arrested and charged with that shit. So, anyway, moving on to the third story of the day. We'll get into some other stuff too after all this, but this is the third story we got for today, is what it is. We got this one, which is a state senator woman out of Minnesota. It says, breaking, state senator Nicole Mitchell was just arrested for first-degree burglary. This comes just days after she publicly advocated for building safer communities. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah, here's a picture of her ass right there after she was arrested and stuff. And then we got her a couple of days ago with MDA members, is what it is, where she was tweeted out, said, meaningful conversation today with Moms Demand Action community members advocating for common sense gun reform and safer communities at Minnesota legislator, as well as providing Minnesotans the mental health services they need to, quote, end gun violence in our neighborhoods. Fuck you, cunt. That's all I'll say to that one. Like, fuck you, Nicole Michelle. They better fucking drum this bitch out of the fucking General Assembly of Minnesota, dude, because if she's not, like, it just shows how fucking corrupt that entire state house is then. I mean, it already is corrupt as fuck, honestly. You let piece of shit Somali terrorists in there, dude. Just like we let them in here in Ohio is what it is. So, anyway. Yeah, her ass needs to be tossed out of fucking office for that one dude alone. But anyway. But yeah, this was the source here, is what it said, for her burglarizing people's homes, apparently. It said, state senator from Woodbury arrested for burglary in Detroit Lakes. This is a state senator and former broadcast meteorologist was arrested on suspicion of burglary early Monday in northwestern Minnesota city of Detroit Lakes. It's a Democrat state senator. Nicole Mitchell, 49, of Woodbury, was being held in the Becker County jail on suspicion of first-degree burglary. Formal charges were still pending Monday afternoon. Said Michelle did not immediately return a call left on the jail's voicemail system for inmates. It's not clear if she has an attorney or who could comment on her behalf. Said the police chief said he didn't know of one at the time. It said Nicole was arrested while the Senate is on its Passover break. Okay, so she literally goes on break from being a state senator and goes and burglarizes homes while advocating for gun control. Like, what the fuck, people? Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. They're all fucking psychotic lunatics is what it is, dude. Although I guess it could be worse. It could be it could be Allison Russo here in Ohio about 3 years ago almost to the day now, where she literally took a bribe from Moms Demand Action on camera at the state house is what it is. Big fat ass envelope full of cash, about yay big. Never investigated. Never even had anything come against her at that point. Half the fucking state reps didn't even know what happened at the time. And she's still sitting in office right now as the minority leader of the Democrat Party in the state of Ohio right now is what it is, for the lesser of the two parties that hold power in this state is what it is then. Like, it just blows me away, dude. Her having a position of authority in this state at all right now is what it is, or this country at all for that matter. Same thing with this dumb cunt Nicole right here. So, anyway, said Nicole's arrest comes at an awkward time for Minnesota Senate Democrats who hold just 1-seat majority with 4 weeks left of the legislative season. Well, it's not going to be 1-seat majority anymore, motherfuckers, because her ass needs to be drummed the fuck out of there at this point for real. And it needs to be dead split where the Republican Party in that state gets a fucking seat now is what it is for her ass being kicked out then. So, anyway. So their absence could make it difficult to pass any legislation that lacks bipartisan support. Good. That's what needs to happen, honestly, dude. Fuck that. If they got a bunch of gun control coming up then, yeah, just let it fucking die, dude. Let it fucking die as a split vote if that be the case in the one-party lines. Be like, no, we're protecting Minnesotans' rights to guns, dude, at this point. Fuck this bitch. So, anyway, said Mitchell worked as a meteorologist in the U.S. military. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's another thing, too, by the way. On top of all that shit, dude, this woman is supposed to be a fucking Air Force veteran of this country, which I guarantee that's what she ran on to get in office to begin with, dude. As some, like, blue dog Democrat. In reality, she's just this fucking scumbag-ass criminal from the military is what it is there. Like, even Duke talked about this a few weeks ago, is what it was, about how there was some people in Marines, Air Force, etc. at the time that he was in there in Iraq. That should have never been in the military at all, dude. And they were just a bunch of nuts that got through the fucking... They, like, sort of fell through the cracks is what it was there. Actually, that was one thing I was watching last night. There's a YouTube channel on this site called Popo Medic. And he does a bunch of stuff. He did... what was it now? He'll do different events and stuff over the times. Like, he did one recently was Black Hawk Down and stuff like that. But he did another one a few weeks ago. That was the 2016 ambush of cops in Dallas, Texas. And the guy that did that was a dude who should have been drummed out of the military, dishonorably discharged, etc., but yet somehow was able to leave the military without a dishonorable discharge, get his hands on weaponry and stuff like that, and then went on the ambush and went full BLM terrorist against the cops, what it was there, and killed a bunch of cops there in Dallas, Texas, 8 years ago now is what it was. So, yeah, it's fucking insane, dude, what it is. And again, it's not, like, this is my problem entirely with people that push gun control in this country, dude. It's like, you don't need gun control. You need criminal control is what it is, dude. You have these people that are already committing other fucking crimes before they commit their ultimate atrocity is what it is, their massacre, whatever it's going to be there. And yet we're not getting them in those lower crimes. We're not keeping them in prison for those lower crimes is what it is there. Like even this dude from the military there, that Micah, whatever the hell his name was there in Dallas, Texas 8 years ago. Like that dude should have been in a fucking military prison for many, many years of his life because he was literally trying to bring back fucking grenades and shit in a Foot Locker, dude. Like, what the fuck? You know, like that alone should have shown you, like, hey, maybe, I don't know, fucking knock this guy's dick in the dirt and throw him in military prison for a while is what it is there, dude. And then keep him literally from ever buying guns in this country at all is what it would be then. So, and what's ironic about that whole thing then is that's what basically led to more militarization of cops in this country because it was at that time it was the end of Obama's administration there, and you had people that were like, oh, the militarization of police is way too fucking ridiculous now, so let's go ahead and have all these cops with just their pistols and not the patrolman's rifles, etc. there, which is basically what led to this guy having superior firepower against them, and what led to more cops dying that day in Texas is what it was there. So, which then, of course, you know, we've seen the last 8 years now for all these riots and stuff, that, yeah, it's leading to, like, over-militarization of cops yet again is what it is, dude. So, that's another thing I do want to mention today, actually. So there was I can't share these, obviously, because it's fucking, I know for a fact YouTube would give me multiple trial strikes for showing people fighting and stuff like that against police and whatnot. So there's basically 3 different versions of the Chaz going on right now in this country. Y'all remember the Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone? And then it became the Occupy protest. It became the CHOP after that, where it was Raz Simone was a de facto warlord in that place for like 3 or 4 weeks of existing there in Washington State. So apparently there's 3 of those going on right now in this country. There's one in a park in New York City that's basically might as well be called the Paz because it's like a pro-Palestine one is what it is there. There's another one that was broken up last night that was at New York University in Midtown Manhattan, and that was one that was beat up. The cops basically went in there and like started macing shot everybody and stuff like that, and like, you know, knocking these college kids' dicks in the dirt and stuff like that. And there's a third one that's being allowed to continue by a bunch of professors and stuff like that at Columbia University, the Columbia Law School. There's what it is. So it's like, yeah, and that's just the ones I know about, by the way. There could be like 4 or 5, honestly, that I don't know about going on right now. So those are the 3 that I actually know about that I could talk about. And yeah, it's just fucking insane, dude. And you had like a whole thing with the left seating itself at the Columbia University one or Columbia Law School one because you have a professor there that is obviously he's assistant professor guy who is of Jewish descent is what it is, and he basically had his credentials yanked from him the other day because he has like a key card to get in the buildings and stuff like that. And they're just like, nope, doesn't work anymore. He's like, what do you mean it doesn't work anymore? And they were like, oh yeah, dude, like we don't want you on campus because you could be affecting the pro-Palestine kids here. And it's like, what the fuck? And again, it's these fucking schools that are allowing this shit to go on, dude. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I said about OSU the other day, dude, where you had that whole thing where it was fucking a bunch of Somali Islamic terrorists, etc. there in the student union and stuff like that, screaming at a bunch of Jewish kids then and stuff like that, dude. It's like, no, like, kick these kids the fuck out. And if you're not going to kick them the fuck out, heads of these schools, then guess what? Your ass gets no fucking taxpayer money ever again, then, bitch. You don't get any tax breaks anymore. You don't get any fucking public funding anymore. And we're going to sue the shit out of you at that point then, fuckers. For allowing anti-Semitism, anti-Christianity, etc. to go out in these fucking schools, dude. While allowing anti-Americanism, communism, socialism, fucking cultural Marxism, Islamic terrorism, etc. to fucking fester at these universities across our country right now. And that's the problem right now entirely, man. So, anyway. But yeah, it's a bunch of scumbaggery is what it is, dude, and I'm fucking sick and tired of all of it. But yeah, anywho. So, yeah, we got that one with that Mitchell woman there. Who I actually finished reading that story, though, so I'm going to go back and finish reading that story, though we've gotten back on track again. Yeah, it said she was military, meteorologist, U.S. military, and the Minnesota Public Radio before she was elected to the state senate in 2022 from the suburban St. Paul district. She still serves as a lieutenant colonel in the Air National Guard. Well, not anymore. Probably after this, I'm guessing. So as commanding a weather unit, her official profile says she worked for the Weather Channel earlier in her career. So she literally was a fucking chair force, then is what they're saying, honestly, on that one. Yeah, it says dispatchers received 911 call around 4:45 a.m. from a homeowner saying active burglary in progress in her residence. As an officer searched the home and arrested that Nicole woman. Said police chief said that he could provide a few other details because the case was still under investigation. And that goes on from there, basically. But yeah, she's basically a scumbag is what it is, dude. She's a scumbag piece of shit like every fucking Democrat in this country is. So, yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit entirely, man. Let's see what's going on X right now, currently. Oh, we got just in now, as of 30 minutes ago. Columbia University has announced classes will be remote for the rest of the year as anti-Israel protesters rock the school. So there are now growing calls for tuition refunds for the $70,000 a year college now that it is practically turned into an online school. And then you got all these retards basically dancing in the fucking quad there is what it is, like a bunch of morons. I'll tell you what, the fact that we're not even in May yet and this shit's already happening, dude, like, dude, this summer's going to be lit as fuck, bro. I can't wait for the rise of Kyle Rittenhouses to happen, man. You know what I mean by that one, which is basically a shitload of fucking self-defense happening in this country versus the BLM and Antifa terrorists to the left and all these pro-Palestine piece of shit terrorists with this dude. What's funny to me too, by the way, somebody asked in the comment section of that video there, it said, why are these people wearing masks? Well, I mean, there's a reason for that. It's called not being identifiable, dude. Like, it's pretty simple, honestly. It's not to do with, the little cough or anything like that. It has simply to do with people not being able to be identified. That's what it is. And when you can't be identified, it's way easier to commit crime in this country, honestly. That's why you had that shit happen in 2020, dude, where you had everybody basically masking up and then fucking going, looting places blind, basically, is what it is there. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and respond to this person right now myself. Yeah. So, and then of course we got other videos here that I can actually show because they're still framing is what it is there, just frames of the shot stuff there, where it's basically them just having a giant tent city on this campus there is what it is, dude, which is very similar to what happened with the Chaz back in 2020 there. And the thing is too, right? Okay, so this is a big difference about what's happening there versus what was happening at the actual Chaz in Washington State in 2020. So the difference here is with the Chaz itself back in 2020, you had two things happen. You had the quote unquote, as Jenny Durkin called it, who was mayor at the time, the summer of love, whatever the fuck you want to call it, there is what it was. And you basically had a kid who was like 18 or 19 come out of the woodwork, claim to be one of these LGBTQ motherfuckers and stuff like that. These quote bag mafia people is what it is there. And they were the original head of the fucking Chaz, and that's what it was, where it was just supposed to be like this autonomous zone thing, whatever the case be. And then from there, they end up being accused of like sex assault and a bunch of other stuff, is what it was there, by some people. And so they stepped down almost immediately at the beginning of that whole thing, is what it was. Like, this was like a day or two into the fucking thing, from my understanding. And then it was like 2 or 3 days later, so it was like 4 or 5 days in at that point then, is when you had Raz Simone, who was a SoundCloud rapper, who became a de facto warlord of that fucking place, taking over as a secondary leadership, is what it was then. And he ended up starting to arm people like crazy, dude. And that's when you had people get shot and killed in that fucking place. That's when you had fucking dead bodies being chopped up and dumped in dumpsters 3-4 blocks back, is what it was there. Allegedly. Of course, they actually found dead bodies in fucking dumpsters and trash bags and stuff like that. They were all chopped up and stuff. So, again, could be directly tied to that fucking place. People just being murked out is what it was then. Not to mention the fact you had legitimately, thousands of fucking felonies happening there every single night, where you had people being raped, people being robbed, etc. Not to mention the fact you had, considering that was an actual active neighborhood at the time, the Capitol Hill place was there, you had at least several thousand residents being held hostage in their homes, being false imprisoned by these fucking douchebags, and yet nobody ever caught charges for that one either, for that matter. In fact, as far as I'm aware right now, nobody actually was legitimately charged with any felonies at that point. That Rasmussen guy should have been charged with a shitload of them, by the way, along with everybody else that was underneath his ass at the time when that all got ended and stuff like that. So the entire point of the matter is, though, is that not only was all that happening, the only thing that really took place out of that, as far as I'm aware, that's still going on to this day, was you had a guy whose son ended up taking a car pretty close to the actual entrances of the place, or whatever the case be, and he got fucking lit up with his buddies. What it was then, they got killed, and his father sued the shit out of the fucking city, Durkin, Inslee, etc. There, as the governor, Jay Inslee. And as far as I'm aware, that lawsuit's still taking place there in Washington State. I don't know if it's actually been settled or not at this point on the court or not, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, 4 years later, it's still taking place right now, and it's still like, making its way through the court systems and stuff like that is what it is there. Which is fucking crazy, because it's like, again, like the fact that the only thing that came out of this is basically a lawsuit against the city for wrongful death. It's like, in the state for that matter as well, too, that on top of that, then it's like, bro, there should have been so many fucking people being arrested for so many felonies in this country. But again, like, this is what happens when you have Democrats steal elections. This is what happens when you have fucking, jerk offs in this country fucking take everything, bail fund rioters, etc., the way Kamala did back in 2020, to allow their fucking piece of shit voter base to allow them to basically get into office illegally is what it is there. So, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, somebody points out the great irony here, which was January 6th versus the BLM riots of 2020. This is an insurrection. This is a peaceful protest. Welcome to Clown World. Yep, exactly. Fucking joke, dude, is what it is. Oh, actually, speaking of people that I do want to talk about for a minute as well on this one, because it just popped up in the feed here a second ago. Mark Robinson, who I've already endorsed under the network moniker for the governorship in North Carolina. This is actually how this dude first became a lieutenant governor in that state, was this viral video of him talking about law-abiding citizens. So let's go ahead and watch this for a minute.
Over here practice or anything. What I really came down here for is this. I've heard a whole lot of people in here talking tonight about this group and that group, domestic violence, blacks, these minorities and that minority. What I want to know is, when are you all going to start standing up for the majority? And here's who the majority is. I'm the majority. I'm a law-abiding citizen who's never shot anybody, never committed a serious crime, never committed a felony. I've never done anything like that. But it seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself from some of the very people you're talking about in here tonight. It's ridiculous. I don't think Rod Serling could come up with a better script. It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens, because our rights are the ones that are being taken away.
Well said. Well said. And that's why that guy became lieutenant governor of North Carolina a couple years ago. And I want to point something out, dude. Mark Robinson was one of the only people that ever used his claim to fame like that to run for office that way. So many others should have done the exact same fucking thing, dude. And we would be so much better off as a country right now if they did that stuff. Whether it be that guy that went up against Biden with the AR-14 thing, whether it be all these other people over the time that made like that, 5 seconds of fame, whatever it was there. It's like, yeah, take that shit and run with it, bro. Take that shit, run for office with that, and make a better country at this point, dude. Because that's what it's going to take, honestly. It's going to take good patriots like that to do stuff. So, anyway. Let's see where it's at now. Okay, that's from Australia. Oh, by the way, there's another one. So you got Ilhan Omar's dumb cunt daughter, who was one of these Columbia kids that got expelled recently or whatever, and is now bitching about, oh, I'm poor and homeless and I can't afford to eat. Then take your fucking bitch ass back to Somalia and take your dumb cunt mother with you, you fucking whore. We don't want you here in this country. We don't need you here in this fucking country. Get the fuck out, bitch, and take your Islamic terrorist bullshit with you. Because we're fucking over it, bro. But yeah, according to this Eric guy, this is what this piece of shit said. It said Isra Hezri's TED Talk entitled The Angry Black Girl, where she admits she was groomed by her parents to become a hyper-woke activist because it became my brand, is what she said there. Said her mother, Ilhan Omar, is an organizer, and for as long as I can remember, I'd be going to protest with her. She continued on there and said, let's see what else did she say there. So when somebody says something offensive or problematic, you say something right. I took that too literally. I would say something all the time. Kids in my classes used to get super annoyed with me, pointed out everything, even if it was slightly sexist. But I mean, I was proud of it. I couldn't handle it. Eventually, people got really annoyed with me being hyper woke. The titles kept coming in, and I literally claimed the title of being the PC police. Of course you did, you stupid little cunt. She said, continued on, said, I was doing climate stuff, gun violence prevention. I was doing everything and anything that I could. It felt like I had to, and it also kind of became my brand. When you're being infected by the woke mind virus from birth, you become this stupid cunt right here is what it is, dude. I'll tell you what, the fact that she didn't get her ass beat by the rest of the students in that class, in that school, dude, is everything wrong with this country right now, honestly. I'll say it like it is. Because she should have been fucking beaten in the fucking classrooms back then as a student, dude. So, yeah, let's see. Now we got this one coming out. This was yesterday, apparently. Yesterday afternoon is what it was there. Which was, Columbia activist admits protesters are Marxists while encouraging students to fuck up the functioning of this despicable place until they meet our demands, is what they claimed. Said, quote, don't work, don't go to class, don't research. You are so knowledgeable about Marxism. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Again, where's the fucking cop snipers when you need them, dude, in this country? Honestly, it's just like, bang, one shot, one kill, man. For real. Like, that's how shit needs to be dealt with, honestly, dude, in our country. Like, you put the... Like, I seriously remember a time in history back in the day, dude, when you had, like, fucking Black Panthers and shit in the 60s and 70s and stuff doing all kinds of terroristic shit. And you would literally have cops on rooftops being like, boom, ding, done. You know, seriously. It's like, what happened to that shit, bro? Like, 50 years later, what the fuck are we doing? We're allowed this crap to go on, man. It's fucking insane is what it is, dude. Yeah, and then you got another one here. This fucking stupid cunt right here wearing her little Hajibi veil thing, saying there is no God but Allah, and murder is beloved by Allah. Columbia University students shout, "What does Allah have to do with war between Israel and Palestine? Maybe they want a holy war in the United States." Of course they fucking do. That's the entire point. That's their fucking endgame entirely, dude. It's the exact same thing with our fucking government currently. It's like they're funding a war between Russia and Ukraine that should have been done with, you know, a year and a half ago at this point or more. And they're pissing away our tax dollars doing it. They're inflating our fucking everything at this point, whether it be, you know, groceries and every other kind of thing that related to that stuff, obviously, like whether that be just, you know, food across the board, whether that be electronics, you know, rent, energy, electricity, all that stuff like that, dude. Like, all of it's gone way the fuck up in the last 3 years now. I mean, hell, I remember a time where I was able to get a pack of pepperoni, like an actual pound of pepperoni from a local grocery store, and it was like $5-6 at most. And that was like 8 months ago, give or take. That same pack is now over $10 fucking, dude. And it's like, it's fucking insane, dude. Like, less than a year, and it's already almost doubled in fucking price. And I'm talking about like lunch meat pepperoni, like about yay big, give or take. Or there's maybe like 40, 50 slices in that pound or something like that, if that much even. And now it's like almost double the price it used to be less than a year ago. And that's just the greatest example I can think of right now, obviously, off the top of my head right now, currently. But yeah, everything else has gone up too, for that matter, dude. Like, especially bacon and stuff like that. Now, granted, you can still get deals on bacon depending on where you're at. Obviously, where I'm at right now, like, I was looking in the paper the other day, actually, because it was the flyers that came in. And if I was able to go to the one store, I could get like a pack for like a few dollars over the case. But even that, I remember, I know for a fact that was like half that price before that, though. Back when Mom was still alive, like a year or so ago, that shit was like seriously like a couple bucks at most, and now it's like $4 or $5 a piece is what it is now most of the time. So, as it was, the bacon I had this morning that I made for breakfast about an hour ago, which I'm still munching on a sandwich right now, is what it is. It was the only thing that did not come out good today, man. Everything else came out okay, though. Like, literally, like, I still have a couple sausages sitting here I can show y'all. Like, the sausage came out pretty good today, is what it was. Like, almost came out perfect today. So the eggs, like, they came out almost perfect as well. I don't know if it's because I turned the stuff down just a little bit too much, but yeah, the bacon just came out like a little bit limp. It needed about another 2 minutes in there because of it being as limp as it was. But it's not bad, but it's more like what my sister-in-law and nephew would like to eat versus what I like to eat, which is not like, you know, still a little bit raw. Although it could be worse. The one piece I ate earlier that was like, I didn't realize it was as raw as it was because it's about 75% cooked at the time. And I'm just like, when I take a bite of it, and the whole thing kind of just like popped in my mouth what it was. And I was like chewing them, was like, this doesn't taste good. And so if I get sick in a couple of days, I know exactly what it'll be from. It'll be from undercooked bacon. There's what it is. So, but yeah, this is pretty decent though. Except it need to be, you know, it's a little bit more crispy as what it is there. So, but anyway, see where we're at now. Where the fuck is this one happening at? I don't know where this is happening at right now. It was some kind of a pro-Palestine thing, though. This was Jack Posobiec talking about this 13 hours ago. Yeah, it was the cops in the place, and then it was a bunch of idiotic morons there. So, of course, it's not one to actually go forward on me now. Damn it. I was trying to show like stills from it without showing the actual videos. What is there? Yeah, whatever. We'll just retweet that shit later. And we got cops attacking British guys in Britain. Sticking Islam. So now let's see what else we got here. This is 14. Oh, okay, that's what that was. Okay, I just found it. I just found where the actual thing was here. Okay, so that was taking place at, according to Raw News Alerts here, said police are in riot gear as pro-Palestine protesters, aka domestic terrorists, Islamic terrorists, etc., have barricaded, taken over a building at State Polytechnic University. It says currently multiple law enforcement officers are equipped with riot gear and have shields after dozens of domestic terrorists claiming to be pro-Palestine have taken over a building in California State Polytechnic University at Arqueta, California. They have fully barricaded the entrance with desk chairs and other items from inside the building, attempting to prevent law enforcement who are equipped with riot gear from entering in with items being thrown. Said still developing situation as of yesterday afternoon slash last night is what it was. So yeah, and again, you'll notice one thing you'll notice, by the way, I do want to point this out because this is obviously has to do with everything going on right now today. Going back to the whole anti-gunner shit between Logan Paul and that dumb cunt Nicole Mitchell from Minnesota. It's all gun control shit, dude. Every single one of these things that are happening right now, whether it be in New York City there, whether it be in California there, whether it be at Columbia University there, it's all gun-free zones. It's all anti-gunner states and cities, etc. that's taking place in. It's all anti-gun campuses is what it is there. That don't allow concealed carry / constitutional carry on campus is what it is there. So it's all disarmament, allowing leftist terrorism in mob form to run wild is what it is then, dude. Where when you have people with the appearance of a firearm being able to do what they need to do, then shit gets done. So yeah, there's another update from that alerts thing there is what it was, which was this one, which is a bunch of idiotic barricaded shit. Like, what a shitty barricade, dude. Like, you literally put a fucking chair down and then you put like a couple tables on top of it and stuff. Like, bro, like, I could take a fucking stick and like knock half that shit down in like one shot, like a fucking like I'm playing pool or something like that with like a pool cue. Like, it's so fucking dumb, man. Like, whoever taught these people how to build, like, was a complete moron, obviously, which makes sense given the fact they've never built a thing in their entire fucking lives, dude. So it makes sense they couldn't build for shit, honestly. So yeah, just a bunch of fucking clown asses, dude, for real. Fucking idiots. Complete morons, dude. Interesting. There's a video here of this black woman saying, what was 22 years of military service for? We're going to go ahead and read the whole thing here. I think it's really leave off today with this this last one here is what it'll be, because I guess what I got to do then. It says, woman said, what was 22 years of military service for? What was it all for? So just watch members of the supposedly American Congress dancing around and singing on the House floor, waving Ukraine flags because they just passed 100 billions and billions of dollars for Ukraine aid. Someone continued on said, I can say that from the perspective of a military Gold Star widow. What was it all? What happened? Like, I carry my husband's Bronze Star for military achievement everywhere I go to remind me, you know what? I did live that. Yeah, I'm very proud of him. Yes, it all happened. But when I see American congressional representatives waving Ukraine flags on the House floor, spare me your excuses because you don't get to have any. Said all the sleepless nights, all the deployments, raising children pretty much by myself because he was deployed. Is what someone was saying here. This lady here is what it is. Said, why in the world would you think it's acceptable to do that? To wave the Ukrainian flag on the House floor where you were supposed to represent constituents such as myself, such as my husband, who gave his life for this country so that I could be free. and that our children could be free, so that his soldiers could be free, so you can go, so that we could be free right now. We're not. So we're consistently surveilled, and you steal all of our money via IRS and taxes, so you can pass it all along to Ukrainian oligarchs who are just this Ukrainian laundromat LLC, where we just keep seeing these pictures and these videos and these news reports, and all of a sudden these people are just fabulously wealthy. She said, I'm not happy about any of this as a taxpayer, as a constituent, as an American citizen all of my life. I was born here. This is my country. I'm not from anywhere else. I'm not a foreign national. I was born in America. My parents are born here. Husband was born here. Husband's family was born here. And then you can't figure it out when you go back to your district and people yell and scream and spit at you. So we are going to remember that you did this. People are struggling. They're barely surviving, and they're sending all the money to a foreign country that hates us. So this continues on, and I highly recommend listening to the whole thing, because really, what is it all for? So what was our military fighting for freedom overseas and dying if this is what's become of the government and country? And again, this is what happens when you let an old child molester named Joe Biden and a stupid fucking cunt who literally got to where she was by fucking spreading her goddamn legs named Kamala Harris to steal the fucking presidency and vice presidency 4 years ago. Not that hard to figure out, people. This is what happens when you don't actually have people who are literally on camera with fucking stacks of fucking ballots, stuffing fucking ballot boxes, arrested for fucking treasonous shit, and executed publicly for fucking high treason in this country. Because what we used to do for high treason, by the way, I want to point that one out. You know, we used to do that shit for spying too, for that matter. All these fucking Chinese foreign nationals spying on our fucking military installations here, dude. We used to kill these people on live TV with public hangings, for God's sakes, for spying on our country with high treason, dude. Charges against them. And yet, we are allowing this shit to go on continuously. It's like, for what? For what? Honestly. And this is why I believe, truthfully, like, this is what I'm saying, dude. Like, this is why I'll have a public fucking freak out on camera right now. Because I'm not going to do anything, dude. It's the people who are in their houses right now, all these military vets, all these people who actually are, like, this close to fucking losing everything, dude, who are just looking at a fucking rifle in the corner, grabbing up that rifle, shining up that rifle, loading up those mags, you know, going out there to the range, doing testing and stuff like that, checking out, you know, different lengths and stuff like that of where they can actually shoot from, different prone positions and stuff like that, all that stuff like that, doing all kinds of training and whatnot. It's those ones that are going to be the one kicking shit off, dude. It's those ones that are going to be the modern day, what I would consider to be modern day founding fathers of this country is what it'll be. Or at least go down in history as the military generals of a second American Civil War / revolution of this country is what it'll be. Because those will be the people that have the military experience, that have the ability to train people like myself and other people out there. Of like, okay, here's a tactic that we can do, here's what it is. And it's those guys that would actually have the knowledge and wherewithal to do stuff. I don't have any of that knowledge, dude. I never did. You know, yes, I'm the son of a military veteran. Yes, my father was in the Navy during Korea. He was actually one of the best servicemen at the time, by the way. I wish I had his medals right now, because truthfully, like, when Mom was still alive, we found some of his old stuff is what it was, what he was doing in the military then. And he got multiple achievements when he was in there for being a good serviceman. Which, by the way, at the time took years to get. It wasn't like the shit now where it's like 6 months, a year, and you're good to go. No, it was like 3-4 years, dude. That took him to get those medals. So, but yeah, I definitely think we're going to be seeing civil war in this country by the end of the summer, dude. If not sooner than that. Like, just what we're seeing right now at the Columbia University, at the New York University, at that fucking California University there, etc. And like I'm saying, this is like end of April right now. This isn't even beginning of May yet, dude. We're already seeing the shit pop off. Like, I can't even think of what it'll be looking like, 2-3 months from now. Will it be a bunch of more riots and fucking arsons in the fucking streets and stuff like that, dude? Will it be 10,000 Kyle Rittenhouse types just having enough and being like, fuck you people, And not even just doing self-defenses, but being on the fucking offense and being like, no, we're just going to put these fuckers down kind of thing is what it is then, dude. And you got some fucking BLM terrorists with a Molotov in their hand that just like bang, 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 boom, boom. Fucking pop their ass about 6 times or something like that. And then just fucking body drops and the fucking Molotov lights on their ass is what it is then. Because I could easily see shit like that happening right now, dude. So, but yeah, I think the closer we get to things, like, it's more and more apparent we're not going to have a presidential election this year. It's more and more apparent the Democrats are already going to cheat again. I mean, hell, you had fucking the Supreme Court the other day basically refused to take up the Curry Lake case there in Arizona. That would have actually proven once and for all that piece of shit Katie Hobbs cheated her way into fucking governorship there in Arizona, using the fucking cartels and shit like that as her backup boys is what it is there. Because that much has direct ties to the fucking like Sinaloa cartel and stuff like that is what it is down in Mexico, man. So, not to mention there's a shitload of ballot box stuffing there in Arizona. There's a shitload of ballot box stuffing there in fucking Michigan for Whitmer in 2022 as well, for that matter. You know, same thing in Pennsylvania for Josh Shapiro's ass. You literally have video evidence out there from that fucking election, from the election days, by the way, for God's sakes, where you got people who are homeless junkies literally outside a fucking polling place, like 5 feet from a fucking polling machine, being told, oh yeah, this is how you vote down ticket Democrat. You know, here's some money for your fucking votes. They're vote buying people, for God's sakes. It's the same thing with fuckhead Biden talking about fucking student loan forgiveness and shit like that, dude. It's fucking vote buying, which is a crime in this country. It's the same bullshit Andrew Yang did in 2019/20, man. It's supposed to be a year and a day in jail and a $10,000 fine per charge, for God's sakes. The fact you're openly committing vote buying by claiming student loan forgiveness, which you can't do because you're not fucking president of this country, you old dick smoker. It's like, goddamn, dude. I've honestly just fucking had it, man. I really have. And I think many other Americans, too, have, for that matter. You know, like I said with that woman recently here, from that Wall Street Apes post there. You know, she's fucking obviously over it, as she should be. And that's what I'm saying, dude. It's like, we're the ones that will come out here and talk about this stuff, dude. Because we know we're not going to do anything. It's the people that are not going to sit there and talk, they're just going to do the fucking action, is the ones you got to worry about, dude. Or God forbid, again, not even those ones for that matter. It's the ones that are fucking U.S. government motherfucking, you know, Fed informants or even feds for that matter that are agent provocateurs and stuff like that are going to be the ones that throw the first fucking Molotov into a building or whatever the case be during riots this year. That will be then, dude. Same bullshit in fucking 2020 there. You had that guy that they call Umbrella Man after the whole fentanyl flood riots kicked off and stuff like that, dude. Where you had this dude who was like obviously like an Antifa looking motherfucker with an umbrella in his hand, and he went around with a hammer, just started smashing up windows and stuff like that of like various places, like an AutoZone and stuff like that. That's what it was. And people were like filming him, and they're like, "What the fuck you doing, bro? Like, why the hell are you breaking those windows and stuff like that?" And you can tell and you can tell like about 10, 15 minutes later, that's exactly what the whole point of it was. It was him to be agent provocateur for that thing, so they could then turn around and cause other people, a bunch of BLM folks and stuff like that that live in that neighborhood, to then be like, oh, okay, cool, somebody else just broke a bunch of windows, time for us to go in there and start stealing shit then. And then what happened with that one? It escalated to them burning the fucking place to the ground is what it was. Dude, you have these morons out front of the fucking place, literally starting small fires inside the place and taking like fucking pictures where they're all like, oh yeah, look how jacked I am in front of this fucking fire, bro. Like, y'all are morons, dude, for real. It's like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the fucking low IQ bullshit we keep seeing in this country, dude. And speaking of that, then we also had one the other day where it was some spring break destination thing. I forget what state it was in the other day. But it was basically a bunch of black chicks on a fucking bridge in one of these states there on some beach that were fucking fighting each other to the point where their tits were fucking popping out of their tops and stuff, dude. Which, by the way, for those interested in that one, we actually have the original video retweeted on our X page there on Twitter. So if you want to see that, you can see it on there. I think it's still there. I don't think they've actually, if they did anything to it, they probably gave it like a warning or something, is my guess, honestly. So, but yeah, you can see like bare tits and nipples and stuff like that on there. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just, again, it goes back, it kind of goes back to just like the ghetto-ness of this country, honestly, what it is, dude. So anyway, but yeah, it's just ridiculous, dude, is what it is. It's like these fucking idiots that just want to sit there and bitch and moan and babble on some more. And then what's even worse, then you had one come out yesterday where it was let's see if I can find this real quick, actually, because there was a one that I talked about yesterday. I know for a fact I had mentioned it someplace here. Let's see if I can find it now or not, because there should be. Oh God, where did it go now? Okay, no, it wasn't on there. Maybe it was on Facebook. I posted it. No, I posted it somewhere. Alright, let me check this real fast. Oh, yeah, here we go. So, yeah, you got this one from yesterday from Breitbart, which was, and I quote, nearly half of Gen Z voters are sympathetic towards Hamas. So, really, what this is showing is that all these people that are saying that they want fucking Hamas terrorism and shit, dude, need to fuck right off and never have voting rights again in this country is what it is, dude, for real. So, but yeah, as I said here in this article, it said nearly half of Gen Z voters are sympathetic towards Hamas, and 1/3 do not believe Israel has the right to exist as a nation. A new summit.org/RMG research survey found. So the survey, released on the first day of Passover, showcased the startling difference between the sentiments of all voters and Gen Z voters specifically, who were born between 1997 and 2012. I swear it should be younger than that, dude. It should be like 2001-ish, give or take, or 2000 anyway. Anyway, so the survey asked respondents, do you believe that Israel's wealth and military power make its campaign against Hamas unjust? Said, well, most voters across the board, 50%, believe that Israel's campaign is just, compared to 21% who believe it is unjust. Only 42% of voters ages 18 to 24 believe Israel's campaign against Hamas is just. A polarity of voters aged 18 to 24 believe Israel's campaign against Hamas is unjust, while most voters across the board, including Gen Z voters, agree the U.S. military classifying Hamas as a terrorist group. There is a 20% decrease among Gen Z voters, 61% to 81% overall voters. Said further, 1/3 of Gen Z voters believe Israel does not have the right to exist as a nation. Across the board, just 10% hold the same sentiment, showcasing the radicalization of America's youth. Well, again, it makes sense going back, like I said, to that whole, Marxist breakdown thing and the whole, how do you take down a country kind of deal that is there. There was that KBG guy, KGB guy from decades ago who was on camera saying about like, yeah, it's like, these 5, 6, 7 steps, whatever it is there to total destruction of a country is what it is. And even going back to the Rules for Radicals thing, dude, that Saul Alinsky book, you have them basically explaining it there is what it is. And that's what it is. It's like, how do you create a radical? How do you create a communist Marxist piece of shit in this country? You indoctrinate these fucking kids like this to hate everything that's not this fucking thing. And they do, is what it is, because they're idiots. I mean, hell, even just looking at the NPC bullshit the other day, dude, oh my God, dude, there is a video that's fucking straight up scary is what it is. And again, it shows why this kid should not have voting rights in this country at all, dude, because you have these teenagers / 20-somethings. I think this was in Columbia University the other day. And you literally have a dude telling them like, one step forward. And they're just like, one step forward. And it's like, it's fucking like creepy cult shit, honestly, dude. It really is. I'm gonna see if I can find it here real quick now. So, let's see. Oh, is this it right here, maybe? Yeah, here you go. It was, this is a scene at Columbia University. This was as of about a day and a half ago. Said a literal cult is occupying the campus. Remember, we all paid for our student loan debt. Let's see if I can grab this up now. So that we can forward. Yeah, okay, so this is these creepy fuckers at Columbia University basically doing their weird ass chants and stuff a day and a half ago.
So that we can start to push them out of the camp. One step forward. Another step forward. We ask.
Okay, we're good on that one. I'm not gonna go any further than that, dude. Because again, that's what I'm saying. It's that kind of creepy shit I'm talking about, dude. Like, that is some NPC level fucking like hive mind crap, dude. Is what that is. That is pure indoctrination right there. The only thing I will say, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, dude. These are the people, by the way, who are the modern day brown shirts in our country. Thank fucking God. The 2024 Hitler has not risen yet in this country, dude. Because if they have a Hitler type at this point that could rise up, dude, oh my fucking God. Like, it's going to be Nazi Germany in America at that point, dude. 100% across the board right now. And thank God it seems like left does not have that right now. But we are that fucking close to that shit happening right now, dude. And people wonder why I will sit there and be like, you are never going to take my fucking guns, assholes. And everybody else will be for that matter too. Because it's like, yeah, these are the fucking people who are completely fucking psychotic, dude. Who will be the mob army for the fucking disarmament of this country is what it is, dude. Now, granted, thankfully, a bunch of weak pussies in many cases and can't actually, fight shit one-on-one ever be the case at all. It's usually like 10, 12, 15 on one or something like that. And even with how broken and beat down I am, dude, like I can still throw down hands, man, and take a couple of these fuckers out is what it is at the time, dude. Nothing else, I'll just lift up one and like throw them at the rest of them. That's what it is then, and like knock them down like bowling pins and shit. So, but yeah, it's so fucking creepy, dude, is what it is. It's like, it's legit creepiness. So, yeah, and this person here said Columbia College should mandate that for the safety of everyone on campus, masks should not be allowed to be worn. That we know who these cowards can be seen and not hide their face behind a mask. Know who the enemy really is. Exactly, dude. Yeah, and then we got yesterday as well. It said Columbia University is now being called the People's University of Palestine. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yeah, and then you got literal fucking their little bullshit tent city and then a bunch of fucking pro-Palestine flags there and everything else like that, dude, is what it is. Again, when did this shit become acceptable in our country, dude? For real. And that's the thing, right? Like, I have nothing against, like, freedom of speech and stuff, or freedom of protest and everything like that is what it is, dude. But there's a difference between that and actually fucking endorsing terrorism, which is what these fuckers are doing at this point, dude. Like, there's that fine line between the two things, obviously. Like, when you're trying to do violence and stuff like that in the name of fucking another country and stuff like that, like, no, you need fucking right in the fucking skull is what it is, dude. End of story, honestly. Or at least, rolled up in mass and fucking toss it out of this country on your ass is what it is, kind of thing. At minimum, I would say. I mean, obviously, the first one would be easier to do, obviously. It would be more effective in the long run. So... I don't know anymore, man. I just fear for a day very soon in this country where things do fall apart completely. Because especially with me having to leave this place in about 5 weeks, well, not quite 5. Well, we're supposed to be ready to sell in about 5 weeks, give or take, but it's not going to be, I mean, it's going to be sold immediately is what it'll be. So it could be, 2 or 3 months down the road or something like that. I'm going to have to leave here is what it is though. But yeah, like, last thing I want to be doing is moving, midsummer and stuff like that while rioting and shit's happening, bro. It's like, that ain't happening, bro. Like, so going to like an unknown destination and stuff like that. And then fucking, yeah, God forbid, man. But anyway, I've just had it, dude. I really have. I think mostly everybody has for that matter. It's like I was saying the other day with the whole Columbine 25th anniversary stream. You had that Austin Eubanks guy who was one of the, unknowns, the secondary ones that didn't survive that massacre. Because it only took a guy 20 years to die from a fucking drug overdose, is what it was, but he was basically a drug addict for the rest of his life after that whole thing, dude. And it makes you wonder, how many of these people besides that have the same thing happen to them or whatever the case, or similar stuff for that matter. You survive a massacre in this country because a bunch of dickheads allow fucking gun-free zones to exist. Here's what it is through legislation, etc. And then, 10, 15 years down the road after you survive that shit, you're so dependent on opioids or whatever the case be, alcohol, whatever it is there, because you're so PTSD'd out, you've never been able to get past that, you basically being a sole survivor is what you would call it at that point, of a tragedy like that you eventually just either take your own life or you fucking, you end up in a bad situation like that's what it is, dude, where you don't mean to take your own life, but you're just trying to escape reality is what it is there with, drugs or whatever then, and you end up having an overdose. That's what it is. So I don't know anymore, man. It's just sad situation all the way around. Or God forbid, like after Parkland, where you had all those kids coming out immediately and being like, hey, like this shit is fishy as fuck. Like, because there's people, by the way, there's actually videos out there from after Parkland happened there, what it was, Marjorie Douglas High school shooting and stuff, where it was a bunch of teenagers that were like juniors and seniors at the time, or whatever the case be, coming out of the woodwork and being like, yeah, I was actually in this classroom with the guy that claimed did this stuff, and there was gunshots going on over here and gunshots going on over there, while this dude's standing like 2 feet from me inside the classroom. And yet, since then, this is something nobody ever really talks about, that's why I will talk about it, honestly, is how a bunch of those kids that came out on camera and said that stuff are now dead. And they claim it was suicide. More like they were suicided by the government is what it is there, dude. For real. You don't put 2 bullets in the back of your own head, dude. For real. Like, that's just a given. You can't do that physically, man. You would be dead with the first shot is what it is there, man. So it's like, but yeah, if you're coming out there and speaking out against, some bullshit fucking, false flag event or whatever the case be, of course they're going to murk your ass out later on, so it'll be. So it'll be like a tragic car accident or something else, if that be the case then, or something. So anyway. But yeah, it's just fucking so fucking ridiculous what it is, dude. Wow. That Radio Genoa posted something here. He's talking about this illegal guy, call himself asylum seeker, who invaded Italy without documents, is very angry because it isn't like the food being given to him. He wants higher quality shit is what it is. It's like, or you could just fuck off back to your own nation, asshole. Eat shit and get the fuck out of our countries, dick. Out of our first world nations, you asswipe, and take your shit back to your fucking third world hellhole, you douchebag. Oh yeah, this one's fucked up. Going back to Washington State for a minute, we talked about the guy who was a pedophile that got murked out the other day by the cops. There's what it was. So you then have this one, which is a dude who was a cop there in Washington State. Or sorry, ex-cop. Ex-cop Elias Hayer is on the run after killing his girlfriend, ex-wife, and kidnapping a 1-year-old on the day he was due in court for impregnating a 15-year-old and raping her friend. So this piece of crap right here shot and killed his ex-wife at William Wiley Elementary in Washington State. So when police were searching for him, they found his girlfriend dead in the home. Police now believe he may have tried to flee to Mexico. He was previously arrested on February 3rd after his 17-year-old girlfriend, who he allegedly got pregnant when she was 15, says he attacked her 16-year-old friend at their house. He was charged with second-degree rape, furnishing alcohol to minors, and third-degree rape. Fucking hell, dude. So here's my problem with that one, right? Like, what the fuck is with Washington? Okay, how are you fucking a 17-year-old girl in Washington State, bro, when the fucking legal age of consent is 18, buddy? And I'm pretty sure it's 18 in that fucking state, too, for that matter. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, people. Why was this guy not already arrested for fucking literal statutory rape of a minor, dude, for God's sakes? Fucking hell, man. Like, enough is enough of this shit, bro. For real, man. I'm going to go ahead and, I just know somebody popped in the comment section there. I'm going to go ahead and drop our friend, Corey, a link if he wants to jump in here right now. So, I'll be on for a few more minutes here, and then I'm going to go ahead and call it a day after that, though. But I would like to talk to you. Nothing else after the chat, so. Anyway. But yeah, it's just fucking insane, dude. It really is. Like, it's just completely nuts. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention something else since we're on the topics of stuff. I got in my stuff yesterday from Delta Team then. So, and it's a good thing I was awake and right here when they came yesterday because that woman who was my mail lady almost left with my shit because I would have had to sign for it otherwise. So, what's going on, Corey?
What's up, brother?
Nothing. Just got my upper and stuff yesterday from Delta Team, so that's fun.
Your upper?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about it the other day. I didn't know.
It took about 10 days to get it there. Yeah, it took about 10 days to get from Utah to Ohio then, so that's good.
Jeez. A long fucking time.
Well, it makes sense. It was probably all by ground mail is my guess, honestly.
Oh, yeah, fucking snail mail.
Which, I'm fine with that, honestly, given the fact that the one I got before was through FedEx and stuff like that, and they almost dropped it off at somebody else's place without having a signature done, and I'm just like, no, fuck that. Now it's through USPS, and I'm just like, okay, that's way better now. So,
where was it? Where'd you say it came from?
It's some part of Utah.
Utah to Ohio.
Yeah.
That didn't seem like it would be that far because I know Muffin sent me a care package and it was here in like a couple of days. And
I know for me to get stuff from Nebraska, it's like an 8-day turnaround or something like that. And I think specifically with the Utah thing, it was because it was supposed to be Monday to Friday kind of deal, whatever the case was there. So I wonder if maybe it wasn't being shipped properly or something like that.
Maybe. He says he's from Nebraska, but we all know he's up in the commie Canada.
Maybe, perhaps. They got all kinds of crazy shit going on.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I keep hearing about shit. And
well, you had this one pop off yesterday in California there, which was, what is this? Cal Poly Humboldt, where it was a bunch of riot cops versus a bunch of Antifa types there. It's fucking nuts.
What?
Huh?
For what? I mean,
they're all pro-Palestine people that were trying to barricade themselves inside the place or whatever then.
I hope they arrested all them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And what's going on? Because I just saw yesterday, because I've been, kind of out of touch with a lot of shit lately. What's going on with that new autonomous zone?
So there's like 4 autonomous zones now, apparently. There's one at Columbia University that they're letting basically fly because they're stupid. There was one that got busted up last night in New York University in Midtown Manhattan. And then there's a third one that's in the park in New York City someplace that might as well be called the Paz. And I think there's like a 4th one someplace else, if I'm not mistaken, but I really haven't heard much about that 4th one yet.
I was talking about the one at the Columbia University because I saw.
Yeah, they're basically letting it go on. The dumbass heads of the school basically announced in the last day or so that they're going to do remote classes for the rest of the year now because of this whole thing. Instead of just busting the shit up and being like, no, fuck you kids.
Because I saw that they weren't letting any, Jewish people through, and they also wouldn't let that Jewish professor through. And then I saw that the school revoked his ID card or something.
Yeah, key card status, whatever it was. Yeah,
That's fucking bullshit. He should sue the shit out of them.
I think he probably will, but the funny thing about it is when you look at that and everything else, though, they're all lefties is what it is. Like, he's pretty hardcore leftist. They're all hardcore leftists, so it's basically them meeting themselves what it is right now. Because we're on opposite sides of the political spectrum when it comes to, like, which side of this so-called war should be funded and stuff like that. In my opinion, it's neither side. It's like, have all our money kept here is what it is, dude. Protect our border and shit like that from these fucking people coming in here.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, except that we should support Israel.
All right.
Because they are our allies, and two, from a religious standpoint, and that's, I'll leave it at that because I know not a lot of the people we hang out with are in agreement with my faith. So to me, it's the Holy Land, and the Jewish people are God's chosen people.
I got something to show you,
that's
Corey.
why I'm pro-Israel.
I got something to show you, Corey. Check out this big motherfucker in Australia.
Yeah, that house would have been burnt to the ground. At the very least, there'd have been a giant shotgun hole right there. That is fucking terrifying, dude. I don't care.
It is. That thing has to be like a goddamn man-sized tarantula at that point.
I don't know, dude. That's fucking terrifying. I don't like spiders, no matter what size they are. But that right there is just things of fucking nightmares. If I ever got tortured, that'd probably be the best way to get me to fucking do anything. Is just put spiders on me.
So I can't show this one because it's people beating up somebody. But as this guy here was saying, he said, spoke with the victim today. This girl who was a 21-year-old University of Minnesota student, obviously shaken. She was walking back to her apartment in one of the cities there in Minnesota area. 5:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, where she was jumped by two black males who beat the crap out of her, stole whatever from her, and then ran off to their vehicle.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
I heard that happen with an off-duty cop the other day, where he was killed after he got off shift, and his squad car, gun, and badge was stolen.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to Shane Bartak in Cleveland a couple years ago. It was, I believe it was New Year's Eve, going into New Year's Day, and he was getting off shift as a cop. He going back to his place, whatever the case be. There was this girl named Tamara McLeod that attacked him at his ass at gunpoint. He fought with her over her gun and ended up getting shot and killed by her at the age of, she was 17 years old at the time. She should have already been a multi-time felon in this state, but they kept giving her a juvenile record when she was literally robbing pizza places at gunpoint with her buddies and stuff. So
that's happening more and more these days.
She's gotten first-degree murder charges against her for that one, and I think she's going to jail for like 25 to life or something like that now is what it is.
I doubt it. They'll find a way to let her go. I mean, it seems like anyone that they arrest now that doesn't fit their narrative, they just let go.
Yeah. Speaking of not fitting the narrative, you got this level of insanity right here, which is a mother and her daughter. And she's so happy because it's the first day that her daughter gets to do testosterone as a child.
Jesus.
Fucking insane, dude.
Pure insanity.
It is. Especially, and this is something I did want to point out earlier that I didn't get a chance to point out before you got here.
How old was that girl just now? Did it say?
I don't know. It didn't say. She looks like she's late teens probably is my guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got this one though, which is LGBTQ community faces new challenges following a groundbreaking study that proves, in fact, that every kid that basically is put on the shit eventually grows out of it. Yes, as researchers in the Netherlands found the majority of population grow out of quote-unquote gender confusion once they reach adulthood. Massive study tracked 2,800 adolescents into early adulthood, making it one of the most extensive 15-year studies in history.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking fad like anything else. Like,
exactly.
Goths or hippies or, whatever. It's just fucking fad. Yes, it's the new cool it thing, I guess, which I find retarded,
And then ironically, you got Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, having her house broken into the other day for the second or third time now. And of course, they find the people that broke into her place almost immediately and arrest them. But God forbid they arrest anybody else in that fucking shithole city.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Pick and choose. Money talks and bullshit walks.
Huh. And we got this one that just popped up in my feed here. It said, quote, "Don't bring the Second Amendment into this courtroom. It doesn't exist here. So you can't argue Second Amendment. This is New York. Tyrant Judge Abina Daresh." I guess that's what his name.
Okay.
Let's see.
What a retarded cunt.
Okay, here we go. This is apparently a story. New York City man convicted over gunsmithing hobby says judge says Second Amendment doesn't exist in this courtroom. What the fuck?
Yeah, it does. You retarded cunt.
Yeah, it says Brooklyn man was convicted of 13 weapons charges after having been arrested and charged in 2022 for building his own firearms. Says Dexter Taylor's ordeal could become a landmark Second Amendment case in light of the Bruin decision. Says jury found Taylor guilty of second-degree criminal possession of a loaded firearm, 4 counts of third-degree criminal possession of a firearm, 5 counts of criminal possession of a firearm, second-degree criminal possession of 5 or more firearms, unlawful possession of a pistol, ammunition, violation of certificate of registration, prohibition of unfinished frames and receivers, 2 lesser charges, including third-degree criminal possession of 3 or more firearms and third-degree possession of a weapon, were not voted on. Says Taylor, 52-year-old New York native and software engineer, discovered the world of gunsmithing years ago. He decided to take it up as a hobby and possibly turn into a business later. However, when a joint ATF, New York PD task force discovered he was legally buying gun parts from various companies, they opened up an investigation that led to a SWAT raid and arrest of his house. So he's currently being jailed at Rikers Island as he awaits sentencing. Taylor's conviction highlights the ongoing battle of gun rights. During an interview with his defense attorney, he detailed how Taylor's trial proceeded and highlighted the district bias in favor of the prosecution. Says the attorney described how Taylor became fascinated with weapons science during the lockdowns, which inspired him to take up gunsmithing hobby. He ended up building, I believe it was 8 pistols, 5 rifles or 6 rifles, so AR-style rifles, and then 8 or 9 Glock pistols he built, his attorney said.
Which is all perfectly legal, or it should be, but it's a commie fucking state. I hope he takes this shit all the way to the Supreme fucking Court.
Oh, hopefully it will be. Let's see. It said, interview prior to the conviction, Taylor told Red State, "I found out you can actually legally buy a receiver and can machine that receiver to completion, and you can buy your parts and put them together, and you've got a pistol or rifle. And once I saw that I was hooked. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. This is the most cool thing I could possibly do with my machine shop." So from the beginning of the trial, it was evident the court could be biased against the defendant, according to his lawyer, who explained that 2 judges proceeded over the case before the current official, Judge Abida Daresh, took over. So the judge disrupted the lawyer's opening statement multiple times as he tried to set the stage for Taylor's defense. Even further, she admonished his defense to refrain from mentioning the Second Amendment during the trial. She told us, "Do not bring Second Amendment into this courtroom. It doesn't exist here, so you can't argue Second Amendment. This is New York State." The
That's
fuck?
fucking stupid, dude. She needs to be disbarred.
They all do, dude. It's like that fucking Mark Stoner guy in Minneapolis, Minnesota area, who's letting all kinds of criminals off the hook, like that one woman that literally murdered her child while she was high on meth the other day.
Jesus,
admitted to it in the fucking courtroom, and the judge is like, "Oh, don't party on the weekends. Case dismissed." The prosecution didn't do enough to do the fucking job to actually put her into prison and stuff like that, even though she admitted the fucking shit on camera.
Fucking pure evil, dude. Pure evil.
It's fucking insane is what it is, dude.
And as far as people like that gentleman, I hate that he's going through this, and I pray that he wins his case, taking it to the Supreme Court. But this right there should be evident of people like him and us that value the Second Amendment need to get the fuck out of New York.
Yeah.
Just move, because obviously they're going to railroad you like they did him. He did nothing wrong.
Yep.
but now they're fucking trying to ruin his life and, you know, throw him in prison until he's dead.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same way they were Daniel Penny for saving all those people on that subway train. Or like how they rewarded Bernie Getz fucking 30, 40 years ago when he defended himself on the subway train as well with a handgun he had in his possession that he shouldn't technically had because he didn't have registration or concealed carry license to have it is what it was then. Because he's like, fuck it, I'm going to do this anyway. And then saved himself from being beaten to death by a mob of black dudes is what it was. By the way, nobody died in that Bernie Getz self-defense, by the way. Because he shot each one of those guys once apiece, and then the one guy tried to pop off again, and he popped him a second time then with a 5-shot revolver.
Yep.
They literally tried to sue his ass, though, for a bunch of money. And I don't know if they actually won that court case or not, but yeah, like nobody actually died in that situation. But what it did lead to, honestly, was Rudy Giuliani becoming mayor of New York City at the time then. And then eventually it led to that place being cleaned up thanks to Trump and company
Mm-hmm.
putting a bunch of money into it. Because at that time we had a bunch of prostitutes going on and shit like that. And then it was all, you know, Trump
But
and
Orange
Giuliani
Man
together.
bad.
Yeah, I actually saw the shirt the other day. It was like a kind of like a Tide shirt or whatever the case be. It says vote, and it said to get orange stains out. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, people.
You been flying your flag yet?
No, it's too big to. Well, first I'm not gonna fly outside the house because people around here. Fucking my neighbor over there is a hardcore Bernie supporter and stuff like that. So I'm taking it down. Is what it is.
Yeah, that's actually funny you say that because before I moved to the house I'm in now, my old place, just a few blocks down the road, there was quite a few or several Bernie supporters during, you know, the 2016 elections, I think it was. Anyways, and they had a bunch of Bernie shit out on their lawns, and the next day everything was ripped up and shredded and just thrown on the fucking ground or stolen outright. It was great. But there was a lot of, I don't know, hooligans or I don't know what was going on in that area because it was a nice part of town.
Mhm.
But I would fly flags out in my front yard. I had 4 poles broken, 2 flags stolen because I guess people didn't, and it wasn't like Trump supporting or anything like that. One was "Don't Tread on Me," and the other one was actually it was 3 because the other 2 were Confederate flags.
Okay.
So yeah, the only flag that didn't get stolen was the American flag, which I was shocked.
I'll be extra respect for that one.
Do what?
I'd be extra respect for that one at the time.
I guess.
And we got this one. Trans sex offender busted allegedly trying to abduct elementary school children.
That black dude, that crackhead looking black dude. Yeah. I saw that last night.
Fucking crazy, man.
They didn't do him like they did that one dude, and what was it, Utah or Oregon, where they murked him at the front door of the hotel?
Washington State.
Washington.
Yep, Seattle area.
That's what needs to happen in every case of.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that one on Sunday in Honda's chat. We showed the video on Rumble, if I'm not mistaken, then. And Honda thinks they actually hit because he spotted like right at the corner of his eye at the very end of it. It looks like the guy's soul is actually escaping up to wherever then. Because there's like this crazy cloud of like smoke or something like that that came out of nowhere. So
I don't know. I've been missing a lot of shit lately.
Yeah.
Had a lot going on. Plus, I've had a fucking headache for the last week just because I've been out of a couple of my medicines.
Jesus.
Fighting with my damn doctor to refill my medication.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. fucking stupid ass disability people the other day sent me a letter yesterday that said, "Oh, by the way, you have an appointment this coming weekend." And I'm just like, "What do you mean I have an appointment this coming weekend?" So they're trying to send me to get like X-rays or some kind of thing, is what it is on my knee and shit, to see if it's actually like as busted as I claim it is, which it totally is, by the way. So,
Good luck on that, man.
yeah, I'm hoping so. Yeah, going back to the Columbia thing, we got this one popping off here a little bit ago, which was faculty in revolt. Bernard, which is like the other part of that campus or whatever. Faculty marched out to President Rosenberry's office, calling for no suspensions for student protesters that are all trying to be all pro-Palestine dipshits. Getting stupid. They're like, "What do we want? No suspensions now." Fucking morons.
It just shows, brainwashing and uneducated. And it's supposed to be at a university too, which is very sad and pathetic.
Yes, it is.
Because it's a waste of money and time to even go to fucking college anymore, unless you're going to a trade school.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because I actually heard one yesterday where they were talking about how it's they were saying more people now are skipping college to go to trade schools now. And what's funny though is it showed a bunch of dudes. So I'm just like, what they really mean is a bunch of men have opted out of bullshit colleges to go to trade schools and get a real career, is what it is. So anyway, but yeah, you got this one here I thought was pretty good. Both NBC News articles. Migrants don't bring disease. In fact, they help fight it, report says. Meanwhile, Chicago measles outbreak grows as more cases diagnosed in migrant shelters. Like, you really can't make that shit up, man.
No.
I know Matt said he was down last night for some reason or another. So.
I noticed he didn't have a chat, but I also saw, people saying, "Oh yeah, there's no chat." So I was wondering, when did he?
Well, he
post
didn't
it?
do one
I didn't
last
see
night,
it.
and then he mentioned something this morning, I guess, in the Discord about like, oh yeah, he was in bed like all yesterday from something. He has no idea what's going on with his body. It's like some kind of illness he's fighting off right now. And I'm just like, could it be the TB that some of these illegals are bringing in now? Because that's another outbreak they're bringing right now.
I hope not, because that shit,
Well, that's the one thing I know for a fact. If I'm ever buying anyone with TB, like, I'm fucked, because that's one thing I get tested for every year because of autoimmune disease and stuff like that. That's what I'm taking the shots for. So I got to do a yearly TB test because of that reason, to make sure I'm not, positive for anything, because it would actually stop my medication from being able to be overtaken then, and it would totally fuck me over then.
Yeah, so, when I was in college, was it back in 2010, 11, when I was going through EMT school? I had a buddy that just got out of the Navy, and he had TB.
Yeah, it's no good.
But he was taking all kinds of medication for wasn't contagious, or otherwise they wouldn't have let him in the program.
So apparently Ukraine is now the 51st United State. We'll fly a giant ass Ukraine flag next to the American flag. What a
that
slap in the
infuriates
face.
the fuck out of me, especially knowing that the other day Congress was flying fucking Ukrainian flags.
Well, I think what's the even bigger slap in the face of that one is they're flying them at the exact same height. Like, how is that not an insult to the U.S. flag at that point, dude? Like, every other flag is supposed to be flown like a little bit lower than that just because of that reason.
Nope, not everyone. The only flag that's able to be flown the same height as an American flag is the Texan flag.
Because Texas is its own country, or?
Well, it was part of the agreement, I guess, when we joined the union.
Okay.
Texas is, I don't remember the exact reason. It's been a long time since I looked into it, but Texas is the only flag that can fly the same height. Every other flag has to fly below.
Interesting. Yeah, this post here saying incoming medical malpractice bailouts. And this was apparently the future of medicine in America here. Yep.
Muffin was asking if we have any info on that dude that went flame on. the second dude? I know he died.
Yeah, in the guy in the New York City, or whatever it was, the Trump trials. I
Yeah,
have no
I
idea,
saw
man.
those
No idea.
videos, dude. Jesus, man, that just oh my god, that made me hurt because I've been burned real bad before, and then my sister even worse. So, I don't know why people would fucking do that. That serves no purpose other than
Because
you
people are
suffering.
insane.
For me, that's probably the worst way to die is being burned alive because it's so excruciating.
We got this one going on in Athens, Greece, I guess, here in the last day or so, which is the orange sky going on right now. That's creepy.
It is. I wonder
looks
if
like-
it is.
It looks like a volcanic ash fallout or something like that.
Probably there's several volcanoes going on right now, erupting.
Did you hear about the guy who was supposed to be doing a tourism thing, and I think it was the Philippines the other day, and fall into an active volcano to try to take a picture?
No, holy shit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna pose for this picture. Oh shit! And like falls off into the fucking volcano.
At least it'd be quick. I wonder if he gave a thumbs up.
Oh yeah, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, movie reference. Sorry.
Yeah.
I wonder if that sky in Greece has anything to do with maybe a bunch of sand or dirt in the air.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. It was tourist dies after falling 250 feet into crater of active volcano while posing for photos.
Actually, I think I did hear something about that. I mean,
Yeah,
why?
crazy.
Why? Just why?
Oh, it's a 31-year-old Chinese foreign national lady. That was a guy for some reason. Yes, her and her husband had apparently tried to climb the steep slope of the volcano with a local tour guide so that they could watch a remarkable sunrise from the volcano's rim. It was such a beautiful spectacle. They wanted to take photos, and she literally fell off to her death. Fucking nuts.
I mean, it's one thing to want to, climb somewhere and see the view and maybe take some pictures, but to get that close just to try to get a fucking selfie is retarded.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's really dumb.
There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
If you want that kind of shot, just fly a fucking drone. I don't know, stupidity's fucking rampant. It's only getting worse. Case in point, all the shit we've seen in this stream so far, especially with the fucking autonomous zones and shit popping up, and fucking evil is just, oh my god, dude, it's out of control. How much longer until you think they actually try to implement purge-like fucking legislation?
Well, I mean, they already kind of did that in Illinois like a year or so ago with their bail crap, whatever it was there.
Well, true too, but I mean, that's not like actual on the same level as the purge movie.
I mean, it depends. I feel like they're just gonna do whatever. Then they'll just send a bunch of shit out or whatever, and it won't really be like purge. It'll just be, hey, here's all these illegals here now, like have at it kind of thing or whatever, and it's them trying to kill us all. Then that's what it'll be. So. But yeah, going back to the Human Torch there in New York, that Max guy said he died about 3 days ago, give or take.
Yeah, he died, I think, like later that day or the next day.
Probably.
He succumbed to it.
I gotta say, like Honda was saying on Sunday's chat, when you noticed in the actual video when he set himself on fire, you had the guys coming there with a fire extinguisher and they were like, blazing out his clothes and stuff like that, letting them kind of burn. And it's like they should just let him burn for another couple minutes is what it was, because they would have been able to actually just have him die at the scene. Then is what it is, instead of being in like horrible agony for the next 12 hours of his life, whatever the hell it was there.
I can see that kind of like a mercy unaliving.
Yeah.
But
or really just shot him is what it was then, or whatever. So
that would have been the best thing, because no matter who the person is, someone I might personally shouldn't suffer like that unless you're just that pure evil. Like pedos or etc. or serial killers. But I don't know. I feel bad for the dude to be brainwashed. I don't know what his circumstances was, why he really did what he did.
Well, from my understanding, he was a big ass Bernie bro who was pro Obama. There's supposedly videos of him with Bill Clinton, or not video, photo of him with Bill Clinton, which could have been a deep fake. Who the fuck knows at this point? But yeah, like supposedly he was like a hardcore lefty and just a bunch of other crazy shit. So anyway,
I don't know, but yeah.
Alex Jones put out a powerful message yesterday talking about like this 20 things that taking down America right now is what it is. No, sorry, 25 things. And it starts with all the open borders and everything else like that, and then pretty much everything else is just destroying our country.
Yep, this government's destroying this country, left and right.
So I feel like somebody just needs to tell these people like what the deal is on this one, because you got, going back to the Columbia University morons, you got the trans people for Palestine, liberation now.
Wow.
Like, oh my God, bro. Just the pure irony of the stupidity there is not even...
I know, it's off the charts, because if you would tell these people, why don't you go to, Palestine and promote everything you're saying here, go there and do it and see how long you last.
Yeah. Well, knowing their stupidity, they'd probably show up in East Palestine, Ohio. So
yeah, right. Or Palestine, Texas.
Yeah.
Jesus. But seriously, they just don't understand that they would be murked, instantly as soon as they step out and start doing all this stupid shit. Because they don't put up with that.
Yeah. Well, going back to what was said here on the thing, this said, so they tent at the Columbia, quote, liberation zone is what they're calling it now. Encampment features a sign reading "Trans people for Palestine." In Palestine, anyone suspected of being trans or LGBTQ can receive 10 years in jail and face street mob lynchings. So y'all just hanging in the streets is what it is then. So
this fucking country is doomed.
I can't show this one because it's basically a double sign. It says the first one is the queers for Palestine, and then it's queers in Palestine and some dude being killed. So, but yeah, it's just
point proven.
Yeah, it's just fucking, it's so retarded. And it's like, I think the problem with so many of these little activist kids, like whether it be those kids or whether it be Ilhan Omar's dumbass child who's been indoctrinated from birth basically to be this woke ass retard, basically.
Yep.
They just don't get it, man. They don't get that, like, what you're pushing is going to be the end of you. Like, not just the end of society, but the end of their ass is what it'll be.
Yeah, maybe not now, but one day.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just...
How, with all the mass influx of illegals over the last almost 4 years, we know there has to be thousands upon thousands, if not tens of thousands, of hardcore criminals, like jihadists or whatever. How long until they start trying to murk the LGBT bullshit community?
It depends, because I know there was one here a little while ago. It's probably like a couple months back now, and it was, you had this one person who was like this gay person or whatever that was out there, like, oh yeah, we support this thing, or because it was after October 7th of last year or whatever, and it was they're like, oh yeah, we totally support you guys over the case B, and then they're like, this woman walks up to her and she's like, we fucking hate your guts. She's like, we hate your guts, we hate your ability to, you know, want to live your life the way you do, etc. there, and like got the whole thing with her is what it was there. And it's interesting you say about jihadis and stuff, because this is from a few months ago as well. This was after October 7th attacks last year, where they were just trying to basically beat down doors and shit like that while waving their big ass Palestine flags here. I think it's New York City, if I'm not mistaken, when this happened. So, but yeah, it's definitely getting to a point right now where I think it's only a matter of time before
your anarchy takes over.
Yeah, I think honestly, the way things are going right now, I know we've all talked about the possibility of them not doing a presidential election or whatever because they're trying to do some other shit this year, whatever it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're being primed right now for another. I think definitely the media is trying hard as fuck the last month or so to try to find a new George Floyd this year is what it is, to do the riots that way or whatever. They haven't found that yet, thankfully. Hopefully they won't. I mean, knowing them, they'll probably create one is what it'll be then. Or the government will create one somehow is what it'll be. But either way, so you have that going on right now, and then you have all this shit going on with all this Palestine, Gaza, fucking garbage ass Islamic terrorist crap in our country right now. I think they're definitely going to try hard for these fuckers to do something this year too as well. So I definitely could see terrorist attacks on the table this coming summer is what it'll be then.
Yeah, the Summer of Love 2.0.
Yeah, it'll be 2020 on meth and crack together, honestly, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like this chick who's on meth and crack and wonders why she can't get a job when she's got the big old septum piercing and like 80,000 neck tattoos and shit.
Yeah, I saw that video. That bitch is stupid. I mean, obviously, look at you.
Yeah.
Not
like,
to
that's
mention,
the thing. She could easily get a job at a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. Or maybe serving drinks at some
I'm
bar.
actually shocked that she isn't getting jobs because look at her tattoos. They're fucking, you know, they're demonic.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit's being peddled everywhere. Movies, music, and fucking government. Even everybody's, you know, favorite Elon Musk, what was it, a couple years, wore that fucking demonic Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of these fucking people that are just... So apparently there's more context to that one that we were talking about a few minutes back with the woman and her daughter claiming she's trans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, or as a lot of the gays against women people are calling it now, transhausen. Psychological disorder marketed for attention, seeking behavior by caregiver, often mother, through those who they care about. Says ex-mother crying with joy, or EX says mother crying with joy after beginning the process of having her daughter sterilized with testosterone. Yeah, just fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that's why I was asking a while ago when you brought it up how old she was, because I was going to say it was Munchausen by proxy.
Well, I mean, just look at that Gypsy Rose girl. She was the main reason we know about that whole thing, and she found a boyfriend online, and they killed her mom together, and then she was basically essentially acquitted for the whole thing, like 5-6 years on. And then you have her now getting out and doing her own thing. That's what it is now. So, and actually going back to the people raising different flags with the American flag, I think this was last June, when you had piece of shit Biden put the fucking trans pride flag next to American flags, is what it was there at the White House, which is such a slap in the face, and then some.
Oh, it is 100%. But I mean, he's flying his freak flag.
Yeah, he's flying his pedo flag is what it was.
Yep.
So Actually, I think you'll enjoy this one right here. We got a bunch of cats and makeshift tanks.
That's fucking cool. They're on Roombots.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. I don't care who you are. It kind of reminds. Oh shit! The way he snuck up behind him reminded me of that scene from Fury, where they're all three of the tanks are fighting the Germans and they're coming in saving those soldiers, and they start getting attacked. And they have to go around that one tank to shoot it in the ass to disable it.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen that movie, actually.
Oh, that's a really good movie, dude. You need to watch it.
I'll tell you what one of the best scenes from a movie is, though, is that movie Defiance with Daniel Craig and Leo Schreiber.
Yep. Damn good movie.
Where Schreiber, after finding out his family is killed, walks over to a tree and starts beating his head against the fucking tree.
Yep.
I've never laughed harder than I did with that scene. Because I can never find that particular thing to make into a meme, because I feel like that would make the perfect meme for a lot of shit.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, you need to watch Fury. That's a damn good movie.
Yeah, and then of course going back to Hollywood sickos, you got pedophile Don Cheadle talking about protect trans kids.
Jesus.
What a fucking piece of shit. This is from about probably 4 or 5 years ago. He was on SNL or something like that. So, yeah, just a complete piece of shit in general.
Most of them are.
Fucking people. Yeah, people are talking about that Dexter Taylor guy's case. Yeah, there's claiming he's found guilty now of this whole thing.
Have you seen the trailer for Deadpool 3?
Is that the one with Wolverine?
Yeah.
I saw the I haven't actually watched the trailer yet. I didn't get a chance to do that yet.
Yeah. I'm pumped for it. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a huge Deadpool fan, and seeing both of them on the screen together, since they've actually been teasing Wolverine being on Deadpool since Deadpool 1, how he's always making references to Wolverine. Dude, I'm excited. I can't wait. And I love the fact that they used Hugh Jackman instead of bringing someone else portraying Wolverine.
This one's pretty cool. It's a guy trying to challenge his dog to a race up some stairs.
Parkour. Closer than I expected, but yeah.
Looks like they got there roughly the same time.
Dogs are awesome.
Just beat him just a little bit.
So, yeah, dogs are awesome. I mean, that's why I've got fucking 9 of them.
Yeah, let's see. We got going back to Columbia University again before we leave here. We got Palestine activists do yoga while wearing medical masks as they continue to occupy Columbia campus with their Liberation Zone encampment. Bunch of morons.
Outside in the fresh air and wearing masks.
Well, again, like I said earlier, it's because they don't want to be identified at all, is what it is. So they can't be arrested for various shit and be charged with felonies, is what it is there.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense, honestly. The thing is, like, all I got to say about this so far is that thank God there's not a Raz Simone type there yet as a warlord, because, oh my God, that would be horrible. That's when it would be kicking off to actual violence then. And all it takes is one of these jackasses stepping up and being that guy now.
You know, they could easily get them people to disperse if they would just launch tear gas canisters in there.
Well, that's pretty much what they were doing last night in New York City at the New York University. It was them just shooting a bunch of mace at these kids' faces and stuff like that, and they just ran out like a bunch of bitches then, so it was real quick.
I know it sounds contradictory because, I mean, we do have the right to assembly and a right to protest.
Well, but that's the thing. As I said earlier before you got here, there's a difference between that and what these people are doing, because I'm all fine with freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, all stuff like that, but there's a difference between that and then all of a sudden you're going, pro-Islamic terrorism, pro other countries trying to kill people, etc.
Anti-American.
There, yeah, exactly.
And you're being total racist by keeping out, Jewish people, and then ruining that Jewish professor,
exactly,
career.
exactly.
So I mean that you just stepped out of the bounds of the First
Well,
Amendment.
it's like the same thing at Ohio State the other day. There was one that came out from there a couple like last week or something like that, where it was a bunch of people. There was a couple more Hajibs there and stuff like that. So I'm assuming they were like Islamic / Somali, whatever it was there, and they, along with a bunch of other people, were basically chanting like, "Oh, Jews, get out of this campus," kind of thing. And it's like, what the fuck, man? And then Then you had the piece of shit professor, or not professor, piece of shit dean of students there at Ohio State now, having the audacity to put out some bullshit thing. It's like, oh, we don't support this thing. We're not actually going to go ahead and expel these people or anything like that, is what it is, or suspend them for that matter, because they have the right to assembly and all sort of. It's like, no, the fuck they don't do when they're sitting there like shit talking other people's rights is what it is, asshole. Like that's where your First Amendment stops, is when you're fucking with other people's amendments, is what it is then. So,
well, not necessarily. I mean, they still have the right to say what they want as long as they're not physically infringing on other people, like harassing them in their face, hitting them, beating them, or So I mean, if they're just standing there screaming and yelling, technically, as long as they're U.S. citizens, they have the the right. So it's until they go outside the bounds of the law is when it becomes a bad thing. Unfortunately, I don't agree with what they're saying, and how they're acting, but as long as they're not harming anyone else physically, then they still have the right. And I'm not supporting them at all. I'm just can't be hypocrites.
I get what you're saying. This one's interesting. Oracle of Wall Street, who predicted a 2008 financial crash, says rise in young, sexless men living with parents will cause housing prices to plunge 30%. I don't know if I believe that one or not.
Okay.
I would say, honestly, it's more the fact you have a bunch of people invading this country who are causing our housing to go up like crazy and rent go up crazy and everything else like that.
Definitely.
That's why we're not able to afford houses and do everything else.
Yeah, why everything's so fucking inflated, horribly bad. I mean, it's getting to the point that if shit doesn't get corrected and go the opposite way, there's going to be millions of fucking people homeless.
Yeah. Well, and then you got this shit where this is obviously going back to the trans housing thing for a sec there. You had this fucking kid whose father is trying to turn their son into a daughter. He started out 7, and then by 8, 9, 10, etc. Yeah, it's just them turning that fucking boy into a little girl, basically. Trying to anyway. And as I said, this guy needs to be investigated for like a motherfucker.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I feel so bad for that child.
Yeah.
But have you seen that picture of what's her name? Charlie Theron?
Maybe.
There's
a bunch of them coming out now with their own so-called trans kids.
Well, she's been doing this for a couple of years now, but her son, she's been dressing up like a girl.
Yeah. Well, Megan Fox did the same thing with her boys. What was the one recently? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember what his name is. It was her and her son who looked like a daughter. And I swear to God, this one, the daughter looks like a fucking spitting image of Billy Lord. And I'm like, is Billy Lord also trans? Because they look exactly the same. So, obviously, Billy Lord being Carrie Fisher's daughter, but
yeah. I saw this thing. I don't know if it was AI generated or if it's true, because it's so fucking hard to tell what's AI generated anymore because it's so fucking advanced. But there's been a lot of stuff coming out since OJ died and how he was acquitted. I've seen before where they were saying it was his son that actually killed them because they found evidence and pictures and stuff, because there was that mysterious hat that it wasn't OJ's, and there was the dog fur which his son was pictured
I don't
in
know.
the same
I
black
don't know,
hat,
man.
and he had dogs.
Mhm.
But I also saw something yesterday that Megyn Kelly, right? You know Megyn Kelly?
Yeah.
Where they were doing side by side pictures of Megyn Kelly and fuck, what was his wife's name?
Nicole Brown Simpson.
There you go, Nicole. And how they looked almost identical. And at the end, it showed Megyn Kelly saying that she was Nicole Brown Simpson.
That'd be weird. I don't know if I believe that one. That sounds a little far fetched, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, but who's to say that it's not true? You know, like we've talked about before, how they show us in movies and stuff what is going to happen.
Yeah, predictive programming.
There you go. Yeah. So who's to say
It's
that
always that kind of stuff.
that's not the case?
Yeah, could be. I mean, the thing
I'm not saying
I
I
know
believe it.
yesterday
I'm
there
not saying I believe it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying I'm not saying I believe it or nothing.
Yeah.
I was just kind of throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean,
How
maybe.
ridiculous shit is that may or may not be true.
Yeah, I mean, I know they had an AI Tupac rapping with Drake the other day. Now, apparently, so that was just kind of creepy. Although it's even more creepy when you have these parents that'll literally bring back their dead children to push for gun control that were killed because of gun-free zones.
Mm-hmm.
So that piece of shit Oliver kid's family. Which, how sick in the head do you have to be as an adult to do that to your fucking dead child and be like, this is my memory of this kid. Let's bring him back to fucking AI so they can push for gun control. Like, yeah, you're fucked in the head, buddy. Like, seriously. But anyway, so going back to what I was saying earlier about the fourth autonomous zone here. Apparently there was a fourth autonomous zone. It lasted less than 12 hours because it was at the University of Minnesota at 4 a.m. this morning, was set up, and police already cleared it and arrested a bunch of people. So, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, this was the autonomous zone where the cops were basically just like dispersing and arresting everybody then.
Good.
I'm guessing it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning, most likely.
I wonder what they're charging them with.
Could be a couple different things, honestly. It would be, I'm trying to think what it would be now. I'm trying to think what that thing would be now. It would be, well, it'd probably be criminal trespass of some kind, would be my guess.
No, that's only if the place said it was okay. If they said it was okay, then they can't be charged for trespassing.
Well, okay, I'm trying to think now. Because there would be unauthorized protest, maybe, on school grounds would be one, possibly. You could also have, because in fact they're trying to set up a tent city there is what it was. So it could have been something where it would have been illegal encampment, maybe being something.
Yeah, I can see something like that.
Because I know that's a charge nowadays, and that's usually a small misdemeanor, would be my guess. Like third, fourth degree misdemeanor probably would be my guess there. Maybe a week or two in jail at most, if even that. Probably just a small fine would be my guess in most cases. So, but yeah, it's just a bunch of stupid bullshit, though. But yeah, I don't know anymore, man. It's all fucking crazy shit. And of course, you got Biden coming out yesterday on Earth Day, doing a bunch of stupid bullshit where he was talking about that idiot Cortez and her basically trying to jerk off the pro-Gaza, pro-Palestine morons, and then admitting like, oh, there's good people on all sides. So it was him actually saying there's good people on both sides, kind of Charlottesville shit. So, the very fine people deal. So it's like, yeah, and that's what happens when you're a dimensional old fool is what it is. So.
Oh, definitely. Have you seen those videos and shit that was coming out of Dubai recently?
You mean with the cars and stuff? Or with the cloud seeding?
Probably the cloud seeding where fucking Dubai
Okay, 'cause
got flooded real
yeah,
bad.
there's two different ones. So there was one that I shared the other day. It was people that had like their Mercedes and stuff like that being like floated off on like these big ass things or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and they claimed it was something else that was from or whatever in the comment section thing or whatever. Then community notes thing, whatever was there. But yeah, the whole thing with I saw the flooding though in the United Arab Emirates of Dubai there, yeah, and yeah, apparently I guess what it was is it was them. It was like heart manipulation shit, and then they were trying to do like some kind of cloud seeding over that, and it actually caused more rain to fall down. Then is what it was.
Yeah, that shit was fucking nuts. It was caving in roofs left and right. Fucking people, you know, they're just literally just floating or bobbing in the water with in their cars. They were nice cars too, like that one I saw where the guy was still sitting in his car, but the water was in his car up over the dash, and people were scared to get in the water, I guess, so they were using shopping carts to move people from one spot to another because they were on a ledge. It's just
crazy stuff, dude. Yeah, did you hear about a couple people trying to claim that Rwanda is now safer than the UK is? It's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah, and then it was basically people it was actually that Antony Blinken guy who is Biden's Secretary of State claiming that basically the Rwandan genocide never happened or something, and he's like, and people are like, "You done fucked up, real bad, bro." So,
wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's just as bad as people saying the Holocaust never happened.
Yeah,
Jesus, trying to rewrite history.
Yep. Then you got this one, which is director. Netflix algorithm concluded women-led Knight's Tale sequel would flop. I mean, the only thing that really made that movie good anyway was the fact that you had Heath Ledger and the dudes in it. Is what it was, like doing bro stuff.
Yeah, Heath Ledger, fucking Paul Bettany, and shit. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, he was King Robert.
No, Pain, lots of pain.
Oh,
the guy that plays Resident Alien.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I
But it also had the dude that played King Robert that was like the fourth guy.
Yeah. All of them were great, but I liked the guy that played Pain, lots of pain. That dude was fucking funny. He also played in Serenity. He was the pilot on Serenity.
Yep. Yeah, he was also in Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly too.
Wash. Find it out real quick now.
Jeez, dude. You see 590?
Alan Tudyk. Yeah, Alan Tudyk was the guy's name.
There you go, Alan.
That's some bullshit.
Most definitely. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
When was that, Brandon? Was that like here recently, or was that obviously sometime in the past?
Yeah, Mark Addy was the guy I was talking about that was King Robert.
Yeah.
And then Rufus Sutwell was the wealthy dude in that movie.
King Robert, he kind of, I mean, not necessarily look-wise.
You know the thing that always bothered me about A Knight's Tale, actually, was how Susan Sossaman, how I pronounce that girl's name, how she was supposed to be like the hot girl in that or whatever, and then literally like the chick that was her like lady in waiting or whatever was like way better looking than she is, and even the chick that was the armorer chick was even better looking than she was in that movie.
Yeah, and not to mention she was an ironing board.
I swear to God, like she, like when you look at like casting couch females in the Hollywood industry and stuff, she was definitely one of those people, man, for sure, because she couldn't act for shit. She was in like 4 or 5 movies in that time range, whatever, where she was just terrible in all of them, and then she was just never heard from again after that. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, Magnum said 7 years ago or so.
Damn, Muffin wants you to show that that dude upper.
I can't do that on camera.
Yeah, I didn't think so, being because it's
Yeah,
not.
I'm not even gonna try. Well, first off, it's attached to an actual gun at this point, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I'm not gonna show anything at this point. Well, actually, no, I guess I can technically show
Because
a
it's just an
photo of what
upper.
it
It's
looks
not
like
an
there.
actual gun.
Yeah,
It's,
I think I can actually show like a photo of what it would be then if I can grab it real quick now.
yeah, you could do that.
I'm trying to.
I mean,
Think
because
which one
like
it was
Matt
now,
goes through
honestly.
gun porn and shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the fuck one it was now that I got there. There's also another one I found recently that I want real bad now that I don't have the money for is what it is, unfortunately. All right, let me go ahead and grab this up real fast.
He said anything else like dot or mags. Did you get anything else?
I did, and I am so I'm gonna call out. Actually, I do want to mention that right now. I'm gonna call out Duck Team on that one. Don't fucking sell Chinese shit in an American company, dude. These motherfuckers sold this fucking armorer's wrench that I swear to God was supposed to be American made. It's fucking Chinese made and it's not fit to fucking spec, dude. It does not go around castle nuts. And I am so pissed because I could have easily spent the money for that on another set of mag / brass catcher or anything else for that matter that was the same price. So yeah, I'm massively pissed at them for that one because I assumed I was buying an American made fucking product, not a fucking Chinese made product.
Just send it back and get your money back.
I may have to, but the problem is finding out how to do that. That's the issue right now. So anyway, so yeah, this is the grab it up here again. This is the actual upper I got from them. So it's got a little QD mount at the front there. Pretty nice. And I put on the bottom of it right now, I got a where that little X piece of rail is there. I put a new what do you call it now?
Foregrip.
Yeah, put an angle foregrip on there, and then I got some sights on there, and I got my my little dot that I got from them is what it was there, the reflex sight. So
Heck
it
yeah.
looks pretty nice like that. So
16
probably if we're on I'm not sure what that is actually. Let me go check real quick.
So it didn't look like it was 16 inch. It looked like maybe 13 and a half.
No, it's 16-inch upper.
Maybe it was just the angle.
Yeah, no, it's 16 inches. Yeah, it's nice though. It's nice. It actually came a real nice package yesterday, and I was very happy that they did it USPS this time instead of FedEx because FedEx didn't require when I did the last one for them. They did not require me to sign off on the damn thing. They just left it there. Versus yesterday, they almost just left with it, and then I had to run outside and like catch her as she was running back to her mail truck. And I was like, "Hey, wait a minute!" And then she came back and she's like, "Oh, I need you to sign for this." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then yeah, sure enough, I signed for it, and she was like, "Here you go." And it was just a big old box full of shit. Then so
Nice. Congrats.
yeah, it's like yeah, I got that. I got a bunch of mags and a couple other things too. So.
Tactical said drop it in his Discord.
Yeah, we'll later. Yeah, and then the reflex sight came in this little box right here, which is pretty cool. Which is weird though, because even the sight itself, it's funny that they sent a little Allen wrench with it, but then the actual when you were trying to put it together, it's not able to be done by that. It has to be done with an actual straight slot screwdriver. So it's like that seems real genius. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
So, yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous what it is.
Is it just
anyway.
like a kind of like a generic brand?
Yeah, it's just some. It's actually it's decent quality, honestly, for what it is. But it's just some random one that I got in because it was if I had done the order differently, I probably could have got 2 of them because it was with X amount of money or whatever. You would get one for free, is what it is then. So, and unfortunately, I did not do that. So it's whatever. But yeah, I'll tell you who
of new guns. Did I know Muffin out there saw it, but have you seen that new pistol Lead on Steel got?
I don't think I have.
He dropped it in I think gun porn, and I know on I think on tacticals too. But he
Speaking
got
of,
an agency arms
Uh-huh.
Glock 19 with the Trijicon.
that's cool.
Sight.
That's cool.
That bitch is expensive.
Speaking of people from Firefly, though, Jewel Strat. That chick was the hottest piece of ass from that entire show, dude.
Oh yeah.
Fight me on that one. Anybody out there? So,
She was a little too goofy.
I mean, in the show she kind of was, but like as an actress overall, she's decent as fuck, and like, yeah, she's definitely very, 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 very attractive.
Yep.
So, even at 41, so. All right, let me see. Where are we at now? Where'd you say that was in the whose Discord?
Muffin.
Okay, let me see if I can find that now.
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday. Before I ever saw it on the Discord, he had sent it to me on private Discord message. We were talking about it.
Get home kits. Where's this supposed to be at?
On Tactical Muffin Tom's Discord.
And it's whose gun?
Let on Steel.
Okay, I don't see anything from him on there.
Oh, it might be on that.
Okay, so.
I mean, you can't miss it. It's fucking agency arms, so.
Okay, let's see. I got a gun porn. Okay, that's X Adam 1, Matthias. Okay. Go all the way down here. Oh, yeah, here you go. Yeah, it was on Matt's.
He also told me that where he got that one from.
It's pretty slick, man.
They had a Terran Tactical Pit Viper.
Oh, that's cool.
But that motherfucker, holy shit. He told me the price that they wanted for that Pit Viper.
Uh-huh.
And fucking hell, dude, that shit was ridiculous. He said it was the guy wanted $7,100 for that Pit Viper.
All right.
You know what that is, right? The Terran Tactical Pit Viper.
No, I don't.
Wick gun. It was one of the guns.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen John Wick movies, dude. I think I watched like part of the first one and then I just sort of zoned out.
Oh, dude, those are good movies too.
Again, it's not that I don't want to watch these things. It's just never got a chance to do it. Is what was this problem. So, actually, looking at the upper I got from Delta Team there, they have the same thing, but they also got a butt carrier group and a charging handle with it for a little bit more money. Which I'm not so sure you couldn't get that for a better price than that, honestly. I will say though, so I got the new charging handle, the oversized ones, the ambidextrous ones from the other AR and then this new AR. I am not a fan of the silver one that came with the new one because they didn't, the way that the like wings on it or whatever, they did not buff it down because there's like sharp edges on there. But the other one that was like the blind box one, dude, that thing is smooth as fucking butter, and I love that thing on my AR now. Is what it is.
Nice.
So, and plus, like, I'm finally do like the one-handed like yank. So instead of having to do my whole fucking hand over the thing, I could do like a one-side yank.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely going with the ambidextrous ones now from now on. If I ever do another AR build, which should be the honest, just standard at this point. Because it's stupid to have those little baby ass ones that are like little, I would call those like little kid ones, honestly.
Yeah, I noticed the other day I was going through my emails. You know, I get emails from PSA and all the big, name gun stores.
Yeah.
PSA had a lower receiver, strict lower for 30 beans.
That's a good. Well, I would say that's a good deal, but the thing is, like at my local, I could get one for 40 Bambinos, and that would be without any kind of like transfer fees or anything else like that on top of it. So,
Well, that too, and you don't have to worry about shipping.
and then too, I was able to just get those Anderson lowers, the complete lower for like 100 bones. So,
Yeah, I remember you saying that's a hell of a
which
deal.
I'll tell you right now, if I ever do another build, I'm going that 100% every single time now. Because I don't got to worry about doing the damn thing myself. If that be the case, don't got to worry about any of the parts getting all fucked up or anything like that. So, yeah, it's definitely worth it. I think to do that over worrying about having to do one myself or whatever the case be, and
No, I
if it's put
understand.
together
Yeah,
correctly, whatever the case be. Then
in your case, I know your hands and stuff, but I was just throwing it out there for watching. Those are for a lower receiver. That's fucking
no, it's good. It's
great.
a decent deal. Yeah, it's a decent deal.
Especially if you want to, buy multiple and slowly, build them out.
Yeah. Well, what's nice though, actually, with that is, if you're going to go that route, it's smart to do it that way because of the fact that you could also have the ability to, if you want to go like an AR pistol or something like that, versus those full lowers are already built into a rifle configuration, and you can't go the opposite route without basically creating an SBR is what it is then, from my understanding anyway.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'm still curious. Say if you bought 10 of those stripped lowers I mentioned, would you have to do a transfer fee for all 10 or just one for the whole lot?
I think it would be all 10.
And I guess
I believe it would be per one, honestly. I'm pretty sure.
I wasn't sure.
That's how that works. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Because they're all going to come in one box.
Yeah, I know, and I know. Well, I know the thing is too, like because here's an interesting one I found out about from Guns and Barbecue when we were still friends. Actually, is that if you go to a place and you do, like say you're going to buy a bunch of strip lowers from a place, or whatever the case be, like a random gun shop, whatever it is. If you buy 5 of them at a gun shop, and then you buy like another 5 at someplace else, or whatever the case be, you're going to get like an ATF knock on your door. However, if you buy 4, because they're all in the same thing, whatever, from one place, and you go to another place the same day and buy another 4 from that place, you can basically walk away with 8 lowers for nothing. And you're never going to get a knock, from my understanding.
And that's so retarded. I mean, I know.
I mean, now it's probably different. Obviously, that was a couple years back now, so it's probably completely different now. Like you probably will get like several knocks on your door on that one. Be like, "Why are you building out a whole collection, motherfucker? What are you against?"
You're right. I know people were getting knocks on the door from the ATF when they were buying multiple Sky pistols. Remember that?
Yeah, and that I could understand that from that perspective because obviously they wanted every coloration of that thing is what it was. And I guarantee what the Feds thing was is like, oh, they're just trying to arm up a bunch of block of people or whatever the case be and do a bunch of fucking shit. And that's what their logic was behind the whole thing. But
yeah, it's a bunch of fucking assumptions.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly. It's you have no right to legally say that about my thing because you don't know who the fuck I am is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
you know what they say about assumptions?
Yeah, they lead to a bunch of bullshit. Is what it is. So.
Tactical wants the link.
Okay. Well, hang on a sec. I will do that because I'm in the middle of something right this second. Discord actually pops up. I had my internet drop out twice this morning, actually, for some reason. Not sure if it's the continued fuckery still going on or what's going on with it, though.
There's always fuckery going on.
But yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, though. Yesterday, man, I was real bad off. I ended up falling asleep in the chair Sunday night into Monday morning, and then it ended up being a situation where my leg had like swelled up like crazy because of that. And it wasn't until later then I was able to actually finally get in bed last night, and because I slept as long as I did in bed, then I was fine after that as well was. And it seems like swelling went down then, which is good. So.
Yeah, I had that happen like a week ago because I've been having problems with my right knee. I I believe I tore a tendon in my knee because it's been killing me.
Yeah.
And I wrapped an ace bandage around it because I put some of that biofreeze on it, and I put my
Uh-huh.
knee brace on over it.
Uh-huh.
And I made the mistake of falling asleep. And when I woke up, my fucking from knee down was almost 3 times the normal size.
Yeah, that's no good.
I had something that was 3 times the normal size.
I don't have that problem because I'm part of the micro penis club.
Oh, that sucks.
Although I
If you
did
go
see
from micro
something,
penis to below average, then that's the same thing.
I did see something last night. I know it's just for comical reasons, but the guy was saying how every man has up to 3 to 4 inches inside the body. So when they do a penile enlargement, they just
Yeah.
snip and pull out the extra inside your body.
That is true, actually.
Everybody was like, so I have one guy was like, he said, I'm only 3 inches. So you're telling me I've got more inches inside me than I do externally. So there's hope. If
Yeah.
that's really a true surgery, I may be able to get
How
out
many-
of the micro penis club.
How many mags and stuff did you end up getting? I forgot. I still got to post my video on that Delta T package I got.
I got a couple other deals. If I had realized that this fucking damn armorer's wrench wasn't going to work, I would just got a third set then.
Yeah, nice. You picked up stuff. Yeah, that was actually a pretty fucking good deal, dude. You gotta let me know when they do something like that again. I could say fuck the brass catcher if I just fucking stack like 20 fucking mags like that, you know?
I didn't know you could have mags like that in Canada.
Do you guys remember?
I'm in Nebraska, bitch, and you wish you had my beef.
No, I
Do
got
you guys
good
My
remember
meat
a
is
few years
melting in your
ago
mouth.
when you had this happen in California?
Kiki sphincter you.
Where was a chick with the AK and the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Is that the same chick?
But she was the
Yeah,
one
wasn't she?
driving down the highway. Yeah. It was
Okay,
her and
yeah.
her boyfriend driving down the highway or whatever, and they were doing what they needed to do. There's what it was to film some bullshit or something. That's what it was, and they got fucked over by the cops, obviously, because cops are dickheads like that. But they're like, "Oh, you can't do that because you're technically armed." And it's fucking California. So, did you guys see that fucked up video that idiot Gavin Newsom put out that was all pro-abortion shit the other day? Oh my god, dude! It's like a fucked up PSA where it's these women like driving from supposedly Alabama, and it's the cops behind them like pulling them over, and they're just like, "I'm gonna need you to take a pregnancy test so you don't flee to fucking California and have an abortion." It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's the creepiest kind of shit I've ever seen in my entire life, man. Like, it is just straight up fucked up.
That's wow.
And it really just shows how insane Gavin Newsom really is, honestly, at this point.
Oh shit.
Because it was his
Well, it's California.
It's
California, so the guys have to take pregnancy tests too because they can do anything over there.
Right.
You would think.
So, Muffin, I saw something, I don't know whose video it was, where you were talking about your beef up there and being corn-fed.
Yeah, it's delicious. You're welcome. I'm sorry you have that shitty grass-fed beef.
Well, no, my neighbor down the road, who I've gotten, hamburger meat from a couple times, and that's the best hamburger meat I've ever had. He actually raises cattle and then has them slaughter, and he sells, the beef and everything. And the way he does it, you can either have it, like mostly grass-fed or all grass-fed, or you can have it like partially grass-fed or finished off with grain-fed or all grain-fed.
Yeah.
So
man, we just do 100% grain. It's so good. Get that delicious thick marbling.
Oh yeah, I definitely prefer grain-fed over grass-fed because you get more marbling and
it's the flavor, man.
It is. It really is. But that's why I like him, because he does it for what you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's cool. That guy's probably making a killing on that option.
Oh God, yes. I've already talked to him about how he prices everything out, and I mean, it's obviously going to be more expensive than getting at the grocery store, but it's a million times more worth it because you know for sure what's in that meat, and it's not fucking full of growth hormones or just bullshit that's going to make you sick or cause
Yep.
problems.
It's not just 10,000 cows in one fucking grinder, and if one's sick, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yep, that's where it's at.
I'm
It's not
just
the
waiting.
500 Whoppers.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm just
500 cow
waiting to, for my circumstance to, turn around because I plan on ordering a bunch of meat from him.
How's
I want to
your
eventually get a
OnlyFans
house.
account going? I was sending you Ziploc bags to Farted and send out to your friends. I heard something about, your bonus hole was being rented out.
I've
No?
thought about, getting my hooker bag out of retirement and hitting up my old spot on the corner just to get some extra money. But
Yeah, bust out them knee pads, boy. Just kidding.
But no, I know, man. It's all fucking
It's
funny.
fun.
I've said that. I tell my wife that sometimes too. I was like, because she's like, "Oh, we don't have enough money for this." I'm like, "Well, I can go get my hooker bag and go on my street corner again." And she's like, "Shut the fuck up," or she starts laughing.
Yep. Well, your boys are about to lose me. I'm about to come off break, so have fun. It's a long chat for you, Ohio.
Yeah,
Good.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, well, it was like the last 20 minutes of the StreamYard time, so I figured I'd burn through it as much as possible.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Yeah.
because you can do that if you can, if you start a stream before 20 hours.
Right. Well,
Which, if I ever do a 24-hour chat, so I'm going to do 8 hours, and then 8 hours at the time. So it'll be 4 hours over whatever to be then. So
I do miss hanging out and talking to everybody. It's just I haven't had time and been dealing with so much bullshit. So that's why I've been MIA.
yeah. That's how we've all kind of been.
But today's actually been a good day, and I hadn't had a lot going on, and I actually starting to feel better now that I finally got my fucking medicine.
That's good. But anyway, so.
But I'm actually gonna have to get going too. I've actually got to.
That's fine. I gotta get. I'm
I gotta go
up some stuff here anyway. So
I gotta go to my chiropractor's appointment.
Oh, okay. Well.
I've been going to the chiropractor for like the last month.
That's good.
Getting adjusted, kind of.
Yeah, I need to do that. But my damn chiropractor's on her fucking vacation right now.
Yeah, well, I've had that pinched nerve for since spring break.
Oh, that's not good.
Where my left leg has been killing me, and I have extreme weakness in it, and half my leg is numb. Well, the pain's diminished quite a bit, but the numbness and the weakness hasn't gotten a whole lot better. But since I've been going to the chiropractor twice a week, it's been helping.
Well, that's good. At least that's something. She got something going on there for you.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, if she did her job properly, I wouldn't have to go see her every friggin' X amount of days. I could go once a month is what it is.
Oh, no, dude. If I had the money, I would go 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, no, if I had enough. Well, the problem with the way that our Medicaid works here is they give you $15 a year, and it's basically you can go once a month or once like every X amount of weeks or whatever, and then you're just kind of fucked the rest of the year. Is what it is then, and it's like
Let you pay on your own.
Exactly, and I'm almost thinking if I had paid her out of pocket, I'd probably get a better adjustment from her because I know what they're actually paying her through the Medicaid is like nothing. And what I would be paying her out the door would be like $55 or $60 an appointment. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't afford that. So,
yeah, for me, just like a standard adjustment, which is maybe just the 10s unit. And then, maybe it like, depending on what's hurting, they may do like a massage just to kind of loosen stuff up. And then the adjustment. for $40. But if I paid $60, I would get basically the whole package on the stretching table, massage, TENS unit, heat. They got these weird fucking little heat guns that, you know, she's like, I don't know how to explain it, what it's actually called, but it's,
I don't know, man.
It localizes in certain spots and it's supposed to help loosen everything up. And then they have other machines and stuff that they would use. So the more you pay, the more you get. So
It's just kind of fucked up, honestly.
Yeah, I had this chiropractor years ago that if you needed it, he would put every machine in his building. And if you couldn't really pay the whole thing, like say if you charged like $60 and all you had was 20, he would still treat you on every machine and adjust you for $20. Hell, there was times where I couldn't pay anything. And he's like, just come on in and I'll help you out. He cared more about his patients than actually getting paid. And it wasn't just me. He did that for every one of his patients. He even let me take a TENS unit home one time because I was in bad shape. And when I started to take it back, you know, sad and unfortunate, he was killed in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he pulled out on the road and some Jeep slammed into him and killed him.
Oof. I don't know if you saw the Alec Baldwin footage where it was some pro-Palestine dipshit talked to Alec Baldwin and was like, you killed that woman. Say free Palestine, Alec. So apparently there was also the same thing happening to New York Democrat Mayor Eric Adams gets confronted on a plane by an enraged pro-Palestine dipshit saying, quote, are you Eric Adams? Yeah, fuck you. The woman is seen chanting on video. New York City Mayor Eric Adams spotted plane back from a weekend in Miami. So the same weekend, the hundreds of New York City college students and faculty members were arrested for protesting the Palestine genocide. The woman's head in the video, she adds video, was filmed by her friend. So,
Jesus.
yeah, this moron's just sitting in his like first class chair or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, whatever, bro. So fucking ass clowned it. That's what I don't understand. Like, how the fuck are you a mayor of a city and you're gonna go on fucking vacation to another state, dude? Like, what the hell is that shit, bro? Fucking insane.
Probably on taxpayer dime too.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just like fucking Tiffany Henyard's bitch ass, the worst mayor in America, talking about how.
Speaking of that, you ever heard of the? Do you watch a lot of those auditor channels and videos
Not
and
really.
stuff?
I barely.
Well, there's
ever
one.
watch any of them.
He's one of like the bigger name ones. He goes by Tyrant Terminator.
Okay.
And I actually talked to him. What was it? About 3 weeks ago, because he does on his channel where you can call in and talk and whatnot. And we were talking about Tiffany Henyard and all the bullshit up there. And was it Dalton or something like that?
Yeah, it's like she's the Dalton mayor, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like
Columbia
right
Dance
as
Squad.
it was coming out and everything. And he's actually been to that area in Dalton and everything, because there was one guy that got arrested in Dalton for doing First Amendment, and then another big auditor came in and did the same thing, and they changed their attitude.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I guess one of the more recent things that happened with that whole thing was it was one of the other like city councilmen or whatever was apparently busted because they were basically sending photos to a security guy / cop that was Henyard's like private security at some event or whatever the case. People went to Vegas or something, and he's also one of the city cops there or whatever. Who this city councilman was on that trip with everybody or whatever the case be, and he apparently sexually assaulted this woman in one of the bedrooms or something of the hotel.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
And then came back and was like, oh, hey, buddy, here's all these videos and stuff of it. And they busted his ass down to nothing when he called him out on it or whatever, and then fired her for it. And yeah, it's all kinds of shady shit. And I know they're doing FBI probes now. And then I guess they were doing like some kind of a raid the other day, but it's like, it's so fucking retarded because it's like, you could already bust this woman on at least like 20 different RICO Act charges. like guaranteed, that she's admitted to on camera, and at least like several other felonies for that matter she's admitted to doing as well for the matter. And it's like, why is she still a sitting mayor at this point?
Well, exactly. And what even worse, say if you or I or any one of us in you know these chats, if we were to drive a vehicle that had red and blue lights on it and a siren and stuff, we would get in a lot of trouble, right?
Yeah.
For basically impersonating an officer. Especially, I mean, it's more so if you try to actually pull people over, but I know unless you're a police officer, you can't run red and blue lights. You can do other lights, but not red and blue. But the guy that I was mentioning that came in and did the second audit, he goes by Long Island Audits. He did a follow-up video at Dalton, whatever it is, City Hall, because he went to one of the meetings there, and Tiffany Henyard was there, but she was ducking everybody. And he went outside and saw her personal Tahoe that was set up basically like a cop car. Didn't have the sirens and stuff on the lights on top, but it had it in the windshield where you can clearly see the lights. It had it on the grill and on the back. So this bitch is driving, and it was not a rental. It was being financed, and the Tahoe itself was like $99,000, but she has it going for $110,000. So.
Yeah, this one here is talking about said WG investigates analysis of government credit card records show Tiffany Henyard blew $102,987 in the past year for trips to Vegas, etc., and other travel expenses.
Jesus.
And then we got 22 hours ago, FBI subpoenas shed light on Dalton corruption probe. Says details have emerged regarding the subpoenas served by FBI and Dalton on Friday amid ongoing corruption allegations within the community. It's on Friday afternoon. FBI agents delivered 2 subpoenas to the village of Dalton as part of their ongoing investigation into Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Obtained by Fox 32 Monday, copies of both subpoenas provide insights into the focus on federal inquiries. Says directed to the village of Dalton's custodian of records. One subpoena seeks testimony before a grand jury confirming the impalement of a federal grand jury to probe corruption allegations in Dalton. Says Dalton trustee Tammy Brown, upon reviewing the subpoenas, noted that all 29 Dalton employees named in one subpoena are allegedly loyal to Mayor Henyard. Said, oh my God, someone has heard our cry. Finally, someone has heard the residents of Dalton, and they're actually going to do something about it. I mean, the thing is, residents themselves could have done something about it. They could have recalled this bitch already at this point. If they don't have recallability, they could have just tossed her out on her fucking ass anyway.
You used to be fucking arrested and thrown in prison.
Yeah. Said other subpoena requested information pertaining to the village administrator Keith Freeman. That was the guy that was busted for rape and stuff like that. Yeah. So Henry's top deputy, including payments, tax records, and contacts with companies associated with Freeman. According to LLC records, the former FBI agent Ross Rice commented, "You have 2 separate subpoenas for 2 different types of records, and that means it's what I would call a multifaceted and multi-prolonged investigation. They're not just looking at one allegation of criminal wrongdoing. They're looking at everything." So subpoenas mandate a representative of Dalton to appear before the federal grand jury May 13th to provide requested records. However, Rice speculates that there will still be a long way to go for this investigation. Jesus fucking Christ.
How? I mean, she's already been busted, blowing taxpayer money on personal gain bullshit.
I understand that, but what they were saying in that first part, though, because you have 29 other employees from that fucking town that are all loyal to her ass, so it's probably them trying to take down a 30-person ringman is what it is, which makes a lot more sense if they're just not going to take her down only. It'll be them taking everybody down with her is what it is then.
I mean, I've heard she's got a RICO Act case against her.
She needs to. Everybody in that fucking town needs to go down at this point, honestly, dude.
Oh, yeah, they're all corrupt. Even the cops. The cops are on her payroll, I guess. I don't know. They're fucking crooked as they're wrong.
There's several of them, but yeah, it's so fucking ridiculous. And then you realize like exactly where this town is located and what the residency is and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, it's a giant black town of fucking black folks putting in the worst piece of shit corrupt mayor is what it is. They could, really, honestly, and not even realizing it. So, and what's even more fucked up is that she was even allowed to run for office to begin with because she has multiple felony records to her name right now.
Really?
So, like other shit she did like 5-10 years back is what it was.
How was she able to be mayor then?
That's what I don't understand. Like, it had to be she had her record expunged somehow or something to run for mayor then. But yeah, it's fucking, it does flabbergast you, honestly, because it's like, there's no reason this woman should be in power right now at all.
No.
And yet she is. And it's like, fuck me, man. Like,
Good. All right, brother. I gotta go. I gotta get
That's
to my
fine.
appointment.
That's fine. I'm gonna call it a day then too as well on this one because I got stuff I gotta do anyway. So, and then
It was good chat, man. Thanks for
most
having me.
likely I'll be back later tonight with Honda, and then I don't know if you'll jumping on that chat or not. So,
Yeah, I probably will.
all right. So that should be about 10:30 tonight, maybe something like that. I think so. That'd be about 7 hours from now, give or take. For me, anyway.
All right.
I don't know about everybody else's thing, but yeah.
Later, guys.
It's been
Y'all take
good.
it easy. Stay safe. Always carry.
Yep. And that is where we were always with. It's always be carrying one in the chamber because you never know what's going to happen, especially this summer. And I would say, if you can, get your kit together now and have it ready with you in your vehicle if you're able to, because you never know if somebody's going to do harm to you and your family, or if a bunch of people want to do harm to you and your family. So it's better to be ready and able to defend yourself versus these psychos than end up at the hands of their asses. And it's really simple as that. Have a good one, y'all. See you in the next one. Later.
Later.